A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Ladies, when are clean clothes really sparkling clean? Only when you can see they're clean, feel they're clean, smell they're clean. And deep cleaning Oxidol gets clothes sparkling clean. Reaches deep down into fibers for the grimy dirt in clothes, loosens dirt, and floats it away. You can see your clothes washed sparkling white and bright with Oxidol. You can feel that clothes are soft and fluffy. You can smell they're sweet, too. Yes, clothes look clean, feel clean, smell clean, because they are clean with deep cleaning Oxidol. Go for a wash that's deep clean. Sparkling clean, get deep cleaning Oxidol at your dealers now in the same familiar Oxidol package. And so, Shuffle prophesies that the money is gone forever. But we know that Sylvester is really playing for bigger stakes. We know that what he's really after is Fay, and Fay's money. And how clever Sylvester is, we learn again tomorrow. But now this is Charlie Warren inviting you to listen again tomorrow to Oxidol's own Ma Perkins. Same time, same station. For a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, use deep cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
For a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, use deep cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Oxidol's own Ma Perkins. Today, let's listen in on a conversation between Mrs. Robert D. Buckaloo of Montclair, New Jersey, and a friend. Mrs. Buckaloo is talking about an amazing wash day discovery she made the other day. Listen.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. Imagine dirty wash water coming out of clothes I thought were clean.
Well, where was this?
At a washing demonstration the other day, they used my clean clothes. At least I thought they were clean because I had just washed them with a leading suds the way you're told to.
Hmm?
Then they washed those clothes over again, this time with deep cleaning Oxidol. You should have seen the dirty wash water come out of those clothes I thought were clean. That dirty wash water showed me Oxidol really can get out the gray dirt left in clothes by those shortcut suds.
Isn't that interesting? I'm going to try deep cleaning Oxidol myself.
Yes, ladies, deep cleaning Oxidol is worth trying because it reaches deep down into fabrics and washes out gray dirt left in clothes by the leading wash day suds, the leading shortcut suds. Next wash day, try this yourself. Use deep cleaning Oxidol. See how much dirt Oxidol can get out of your clothes. And most important of all, see what Oxidol does for your clothes. When you use deep cleaning Oxidol, your clothes look white and bright. Your clothes feel soft and fluffy. Clothes smell sweet, too. Yes, your clothes look clean, feel clean, smell clean, because they are clean with deep cleaning Oxidol. Yet, Oxidol is truly safe. Deep clean clothes stay brighter, new-looking longer. So don't wash clothes with suds that leave dirt in. To get clothes deep clean, sparkling clean, use deep cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Ask your dealer for Oxidol today. And now, for Ma Perkins. Well, just when it seemed as if the cousins would be exposed in all their wickedness, they wriggled out of it again. Ma and Fay are still not convinced of what we know to be a fact, that the cousins are schemers, swindlers, and Evie is so infatuated with Cousin Sylvester's every word that she's willing to mortgage the house rather than get back her money for that bogus mining stock Sylvester sold her. Well, right now, about 8 o'clock at night, Evie is just opening her front door to someone. Listen.
Hi, Cousin Sylvester. Come on in.
Hi, Cousin Evie.
Oh, Billy ain't home, and I expect him back any minute. Oh, goodness, Cousin Sylvester, I wasn't expecting you'll come here. Oh, he's such a mess.
Why, you're not a mess at all, Cousin Evie. In fact, au contrary, as we say in French, you look lovely as usual.
Oh, my goodness. That line here to be the death of me, Sylvester. You sure do know how to hand it out. Just the one who looks all fancied up as you. My goodness, not a new suit?
Oh, wait, you've seen this one before, Cousin Evie? Well, I thank you for the compliment, though. Did you say that good old Cousin Willie isn't home?
Oh, that's right. He went over to Mars. Was it really come over to see you? I'll be back any minute.
Oh, no, as a matter of fact, it's you I came to see, Cousin Evie.
Oh?
I have a date with Cousin Faye tonight. I wanted to drop in to find out how matters stand. How matters stand between me and all my cousins.
You mean about the mining stuff?
Mm-hmm.
The terrible way Ma and everybody else been treating you. Well, now...
Oh, now, don't say that they've been treating me terrible. No. That's putting it too strong, Cousin Evie. Well, anyhow, haven't you observed how it's mostly when you try to help people, those very same people turn against you? Oh, I've observed it so many times. Frankly, I was hurt by Cousin Ma's attitude and the other folks, but I try to rise above it.
Yeah, that's very true. The same thing happens to me time and again with my work in the Jolly 17. I'm the president, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I try to work for the good of the entire organization. But such jealousy, such pettinesses, and who do they turn against? Me. But just the very last meeting...
Cousin Evie, about stock, Cousin Evie. I mean, what you and Willie decided to do, and about the attitude of the folks over at my house.
Oh, yeah. Well, after you called me up, Cousin Sylvester, and you told me that terrible, terrible way they spoke to you, I just waited right here for Willie to get home. And then I laid down the law. This ain't no way to keep Sylvester, I said. After Sylvester went to all the trouble of getting his friend, Mr. Myers, to sell us that stock. And we're going to make profits out of that stock, Mr. Willie said, I said. And so why should we sell it now just when we stand to make the most profits in the future? No, sir, I said. Absolutely not. I told Willie everything you told me to tell him, Sylvester.
Oh, that's fine, Cousin Evie. And did husband Willie agree?
Agree?
Uh-huh.
What's he got to agree? I told him. So that's the way it'll be. He can't this way is now, telling him I'm saying all the rest that I decided. Every little thing, he runs a mile with it.
So bad that Willie don't have more regard for your feelings. And, are you going to put a mortgage on your house here, Evie, to tide you over till Willie gets a job?
Well, I'm glad you're here, Sylvester. There's something I wanted to ask you.
Uh-huh.
Now, about when do you think it'd be smart that we should sell that stock? To get the most profits, I mean. Because if we do get our profits from the stock, then we won't have to put a mortgage on the house.
Oh, that's a very good question, Cousin Evie. I see that you've got a real good business head. Uh-huh. An excellent question.
What is? Oh, thank you, Sylvester.
And in reply, I would probably state as follows. Evie, you ought to look on that stock as a long-term investment. I mean, put it aside and forget about it for a while. Let it multiply and multiply. You know, like compound interest, only this is better. And I'll tell you what I'll do, Evie. I'll drop a polite little note to my friend, Miss Myers, and I'll ask him if the company won't start paying dividends pretty soon. Oh, you know about dividends, Evie. That's where you get back money, and you still have all the money you put in. Dividends, that's like finding money.
Oh, gee, that's better than finding. You don't have to bend down. Yeah, you did it, Sylvester. Dividends, sure, I've heard about them. And so to tide us over until Willie gets the job, you think we should put a mortgage on the house?
Well, I'll tell you this, Evie. With a dollar so cheap and getting cheaper all the time, this is an era of adopting a debit position, building equities instead of being credited. The tax structure being what it is, you get the use of the money for practically nil. And I don't see why we shouldn't go right along with the current economic trends of the old U.S. of A.
You do, yeah. Well, we should. Well, yes, certainly I'm all for the good old U.S. of A, too. But should I mortgage the house? Or shouldn't I?
Oh. Would you rather sell the stock?
Oh, no, Professor. No, absolutely not. Oh, dividends. Yeah. Well, I guess what I guess we'll do then. Mortgage. I just can't say nothing, Maurice. I can't be helped. And if you advise us to do it, I'm sure it's right. So you got a date with Cousin Faye tonight, huh?
Yes, I haven't. I don't mind saying it's a great load off my mind, calling up Cousin Faye and finding it so sweet to me. After all, the way folks have been acting about me, I didn't know if Faye might have shared their opinion, that I'm I'm some sort of a crook or something.
Yeah, she might have. She's very much under my thumb. But basically, she's a real sweet and lovely girl.
Oh, I know she's Effie.
And you know who the one's making all the bad feeling over there. It ain't Faye. It ain't even Ma. It's Shuffle. Yeah, Shuffle's the one who hits you and your family.
Oh, I know that, Cousin Effie.
Yeah.
But, Effie, you know how it is with Shuffle. An old man like him, we gotta forgive him.
You certainly got a beautiful nature, Cousin Sylvester. Oh, but here I'm keeping it in your days. Thank you for such good advice, Cousin Sylvester. And you say you'll write your Thomas Marriage right away about Thanksgiving?
Oh, I will, Cousin Effie, right away.
Oh, good.
It's certainly wonderful to feel that I got at least one friend in the family. You.
Me too, Cousin Sylvester. Maybe someday I won't be just a friend. After all, even my sister says. Oh, now, don't look so modest. I can read you like a book. And I just want you to know, Cousin Sylvester, I'm on your side. Say, Sarah, Sylvester's here. Oh, come in, Ma. Sylvester is here, Sarah. Will you button that middle button in back, please, Ma? Oh, sure. Shuffle and Willie gone? Yes, I left 20 minutes ago. Yes. Willie what shuffles his best? Say, if you'd rather not discuss the subject with Sylvester, I'm perfectly willing to discuss it with him myself. There ain't no reason for you to spoil the evening talking about Willie's and Evie's business problems. Their stocks, mortgage in their house, all that. That's all right, Ma. There's no evening to spoil. Till we get this matter cleared up, I certainly won't get any pleasure out of Sylvester's company or riding in his new car, anything like that. Oh, Ma, do you really think Shuffle's right? That Sylvester and his father kept Willie's money? That mining stock some kind of swindle? Oh, I would hate to believe that, sir. I suppose all this means that I'm going to tell Sylvester no. I mean, about his proposal of marriage. If I can have such doubts about him, I certainly cannot see myself marrying him. But then again, on the other hand, I suppose that if we learn otherwise about Sylvester, I mean, if it's true that he's acted very nicely and he's a nice person, I feel so guilty. And I know myself well enough to know how impulsive I am. I might say yes just to show him how sorry I am that I ever doubted him. I don't think you did not say that we would get married for any such reasons as that. No, I suppose I wouldn't. But that's all in the future. I don't intend to give Sylvester an answer for a long time now. The first thing I've got to do is make him give their money back. Sell that stock. Keep Evie from mortgaging her house. Well, like I said, dear, I'm willing to discuss the subject with Sylvester. No. I'll do it, Ma. I want to see what his reaction will be anyway. I'll speak to him about it tonight. You wait up for me, Ma. All right, dear. I will. Because I'd like to know, too, what Sylvester says.
Have you tried it yet? The amazing Oxidol all America is talking about. It's deep cleaning Oxidol, and it means a sparkling clean wash for you. You can see how clean and white deep cleaning Oxidol washes your clothes. You can feel how soft and fluffy clothes are. You can even smell how sweet clothes are. Yes, clothes look clean, feel clean, smell clean, because they are clean with deep cleaning Oxidol. Oxidol reaches deep down into fibers for grimy dirt, loosens dirt, and floats it away. So for a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, get deep cleaning Oxidol at your dealers now in the same familiar Oxidol package. And so we have lots to listen for next week. Willie's and Evie's money, Sylvester's relationship with Faye, the cousin's relationship with Ma. Well, it's Faye and Sylvester on Monday. But now this is Charlie Warren inviting you to listen again Monday to Oxidol's own Ma Perkins. Same time, same station. For a wash that's deep clean, sparkling clean, use Deep Cleaning Oxidol.
Oxidol is deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. Deep cleaning.
Pepsi-Cola, P-E-P-S-I. That's your smartest cola buy. Pepsi-Cola presents Counterspy.
Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy. Washington calling David Harding, Counterspy.
Harding, Counterspy. Calling Washington.
United States Counterspy, especially appointed to investigate and combat the enemies of our country, both at home and abroad. Tonight, the case of a high-class hijacker. Another Counterspy report to the American people. Brought to you each Tuesday and Thursday by Pepsi-Cola.
Pepsi-Cola, hit the spot, 2 full glasses, that's a lot.
That's right, you heard what they said. 2 full glasses of sparkling Pepsi from one big 12-ounce bottle. You're getting an extra glassful. And what a delicious glassful. The most refreshing, delightful cola that ever tickled your taste. You can't top Pepsi's tangy flavor. And that big, big bottle saves you money. Goes twice as far. Pepsi's America's big, big favorite. And America's biggest cola value. So why take less when Pepsi is best? Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember.
Why take less when Pepsi's best?
And now, to Counterspy. It is approaching midnight. On a dirt road at right angles to a paved, steeply graded highway in Tennessee, a dark blue sedan is parked. 2 men sit in the front seat, waiting. Suddenly, the silence of the night is broken by the roar of a trailer truck climbing the steep highway. The thin man in the sedan flicks away his cigarette.
Okay, Fatso, let's go.
Hey, what's the idea, you guys? Hijacker.
That's right. Keep your hands on the wheel and sit tight.
Corny, you know I ain't that fast.
2 of you, huh?
Yeah, my pal's kind of slow on his feet.
Always running, always running.
Get the complaints, pal. Okay, driver, outside and climb down.
What are you going to do with me?
Turn around, Junior.
Yeah, but...
Turn around. Okay, Fatso.
Did that neat, didn't I, Corny?
Drag him to the side of the road.
Always I get the heavy work.
Good for you, Fatso. Helps you reduce. Well, we can take these masks off now. He's in dreamland.
Oh, glad to get it off. Suffocate a guy.
Fatso, you take the car. I'll follow in the truck.
Oh, Corny, let me take the truck. It's a long walk to the car, all uphill.
All of 50 feet. Scram, Fatso. Start walking.
Oh, always I got to walk.
Washington from Counterspy Field Office, Central City. Truck operating in interstate commerce hijacked last night on Route 201, 20 miles north of Central City. Local authorities request Counterspy investigation on the basis of interstate federal nature of crime.
Joyce, the door. More guests arriving.
I'll get it, Mr. Midland.
Oh, never mind, Joyce. This is out of office hours. I'll play receptionist.
All right.
You see that our other guests have enough to drink.
Of course.
Hello, Mr. Midland. Hello, Cornelius. You're early. Yeah, it went like clockwork.
Good. Go into the library. I'll get Joyce and we'll finish the paperwork.
Right.
Joyce? Oh, Joyce?
Yes, Mr. Midland?
I'm sorry, but a little business has come up.
Right away, Mr. Midland. You see, folks, that's what happens to a secretary when she attends the boss's party.
It won't take long, Joyce, in the library.
Yes, Mr. Midland. I'll be right back.
Hello, Joyce.
Hello, Carney. I'll get my notebook, Mr. Midland.
Yes. A good haul, Corny?
Yeah, sure. Soap, detergents, toothpaste, candy, regular items. I had Fatso make up a list.
Let me have it, Carney. I'll copy it.
Joyce, check off any items that we don't buy from regular sources. We'll make out purchase orders tomorrow at the office.
Right.
Now, Corny, I'm opening up 2 new drugstores in our chain next week.
2. That'll make a total of 14 stores.
We're getting big. That means we've got to knock off more trucks to keep up with the demand in our stores.
Okay by me, Mr. Midland. The more trucks I knock off, the more dough I get.
That's right. Now...
Oh, Foot.
What's the matter, Joyce?
Oh, Fatso's handwriting. I can't read it.
Well, just try.
It's no use. I'll have to go out to the hideout myself and check this load.
All right.
I'll drive you out.
Tomorrow will do. But from here on in, Mr. Midland, I think we should check these trucks ourselves.
Always the efficient secretary, eh, Joyce?
I believe in doing a thing right.
Then we'll do it right. Corny, on the next load, we'll be out there to check.
What is the next load?
A tobacco shipment via the Valley Trucking Company 2 nights from now. You and Fatso knock it off, and then Joyce and I will check it off.
Attention, Counterspy Headquarters, Washington, from Counterspy Field Office, Central City. Valley Trucking Company, interstate concern, reports hijacking of $40,000 tobacco load. This is the second interstate hijacking out of 14 all told in this area during the last month. Local police urge Counterspy intervention in this case. Counterspy Photo Laboratory, Haley speaking.
Haley, this is Harding. What's the situation on those new mini cameras?
They're coming in fast, Mr. Harding, and they're beauties. Small, compact, and they turn out crystal clear prints and enlargements.
Wonderful. Well, get up here with one of those cameras right away. We've got a headache we may be able to use them on. Statistical Department, Harding speaking. Send the modus operandi files on all hijackings for the last 2 years to my office as soon as you can. Chemical Division, this is Harding. Our data on black light and fluorescent pigments. Get it all together and bring it into my office. I'm going to have a problem for you technicians to solve.
Mr. Peters' office, Miss Trumbull speaking.
Miss Trumbull, where's Peters? I've been buzzing his private office. No answer.
Well, he went down to barber shop, Mr. Harding. I can get him for you.
Do it. Tell him I want to see him right away.
Hello, Chief. What's up? Why the rush?
Sit down, Peters. We're going to work on those hijackings in the Midwest.
Oh?
They knocked off a second truck interstate, so we're assuming jurisdiction now instead of just advising the local authorities.
Good. Those records you got on your desk from the modus operandi file?
Yes. Now, all told, there are 14 hijackings that fit the same pattern. Hijackers masked, trucks stopped on hills where they can't pick up speed, drivers slugged.
All in the same general area?
Well, more or less, they've been concentrated in these 3 Midwest states. Trailer trucks, 10 of them with built-in alarm systems.
Going to be tough to crack?
Well, maybe not. Now, I've got 2 jobs for you right away.
Shoot.
Well, first,
What's the matter there?
Well, what's the matter with you?
Me?
Well, there's something... You look lopsided. What's the matter with your hair?
Oh, that. Well, you wanted me to come up here right away. I was in the middle of a haircut.
Well, it didn't have to be that right away.
Okay, Dave.
Now, first, get down to the photo lab. Haley's got that slick new mini camera down there. He'll explain the operation to you.
Check.
And go see the companies that make these truck alarm systems. We want to attach cameras to their alarms.
Will do.
Now, next, see Carl Palmer in the Materials Division. He's compiling a list of patent medicines and drugs that were hijacked.
Fine.
Now, you make contact with the manufacturers of those products. You see, they're required to keep a chemical analysis of each batch of their product as manufactured.
You want me to get the analysis of the hijacked batch if I can?
That's right. Report to me when you've obtained results.
Here, or will you be on your way to the Midwest?
Well, here, most likely, Dr. Boswell in the chemical lab is trying to turn out a permanent type of breadcrumb for us. The Hansel and Gretel fairy story, remember? A trail of breadcrumbs? We're going to see if we can get the hijackers to leave us the same kind of trail.
I don't get it.
Well, you don't have to at the moment. Just get started on that stuff I gave you.
Right away, Dave.
Well, not too right away. Take 10 minutes to finish that haircut. Then get going.
Hello, Cornelius.
Hello, Mr. Midland. You come to check the load yourself, like you said, huh?
Yes. Everything go all right?
Yeah, Mr. Midland. Perhaps I'll tell you.
Just double-checking. Pull the truck over to the empty van. We'll unload this one right away.
Okay.
Joyce,
Right with you.
we'll check this stuff. It all goes to our Central City warehouse. Make out the bill of lading accordingly.
Yes, Mr. Midland.
Hiya, Joyce.
Hello, Carney.
Now, where's that big...
That's so. Probably fell asleep in the car.
No, I didn't. Not me. A long walk from the driveway. Always a long walk. Hello, Mr. Midland.
Hello, Fatso. We brought 3 men to help with the unloading. They're playing cards in the old farmhouse.
I'll open the truck and put them to work, Mr. Midland.
Do some yourself, Fatso. Good for that front porch of yours.
Now, don't you worry about my front porch, Corny. I'll take care of it. Always I do the work. Oh.
Always he complains, always.
Corny, in the next few days, I want you to put on 4 more men. We're expanding our operations. They'll work in the northern part of the state around Norfolk.
4 more, Mr. Midland?
Yes, I want to buy as little as possible from legitimate wholesalers. Getting our product this way is much more profitable.
Okay. I'll dig up some real good boys.
Now, Joyce, you'd better...
What's that?
Holy mackerel.
That fool, he's broken the auto alarm system. Come on.
What happened? What did I do?
You fat moron. Joyce, the keys, have you got them?
Here, Mr. Midland. The alarm box is on the side of the truck.
Yes, I see it. That's so, you subhuman idiot. All your brains are in your stomach.
No, I didn't do nothing. Just broke open the lock.
Didn't you see the shield on the tailgate? Get closer so that you can read it.
Oh,
Mr. Midland, easy on him,
I
please.
ought to kill him.
Easy, Mr. Midland. Hey, Muttonhead, read what it says on the shield.
Huh? This truck protected by CKY auto alarm. The alarm system is not under the control of the driver. Oh, what's it mean?
It means that we're lucky I had the foresight to anticipate this. If I hadn't picked a hideout here in the hills, half the cops in creation would have been down on us by now.
Always it's my fault, always. I'm sorry. Well, nobody told me.
What have you got a brain for? You can read, you prove that.
Okay, so I did wrong. Well, how come you can shut it off, Mr. Midland, when it says not even the driver can?
Because I have keys to the alarm system. Here, Corny, you take them. 3 keys. 1 for each alarm system used on trucks in this area.
Okay, Mr. Midland.
Have duplicates made for the new men that you hire. I want things set up so that we're knocking off a truck a day.
Back to Counterspy in just a moment. But first...
Pepsi-Cola hits the spot. 2 full glasses, that's a lot. Lot more value, lot more zest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
More and more, among fellows and girls, among mothers and dads, you hear that sane and sensible question, why take less when Pepsi's best? No budget, no allowance, ever had a better friend than tangy, sparkling Pepsi-Cola. Because 1 big 12-ounce Pepsi bottle gives you 2 delicious drinks. That's twice as much tangy taste, twice as much delicious Pepsi to go just twice as far. That's why more and more families say, why take less when Pepsi's best? Yes, families like yours and mine. Families all over America. They're all saying, why take less when Pepsi's best?
Pepsi-Cola hits the spot. Tastes terrific when you're hot. More and better than the rest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Today, tomorrow, always. Get America's biggest cola value. Take home a carton of 6 big Pepsi bottles. Insist on Pepsi at the store. And say Pepsi at the fountain. Say Pepsi at the stand. Say Pepsi. Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember,
Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Now, back to Counterspy. Following David Harding's instructions, Harry Peters is calling on a leading manufacturer of automatic alarm systems.
Well, Mr. Denton, your auto alarms are certainly loud enough.
Oh, yes, Mr. Peters. That's why I think the hijackers drive these trucks to some backwoods section and break them open. Our sirens can be heard a couple of miles away once they're tampered with.
Well, the hijackers might have a key to your alarm system.
Well, that's a possibility.
A good one, too. That's why we want these mini cameras installed on the trucks separate from your system.
Yes, sir.
3 of them in each truck. Now, our photo lab has worked out a way to do it. When the truck doors are open, each camera will take a picture. That way, we'll get 3 actual photos of the crooks breaking in.
Well, we'll be glad to install it for you, Mr. Peters.
Pretty soon, these cameras will be standard equipment for all counterspies, but right now, we'll just want them installed in whatever trucks in that Midwest area use your alarms.
I see. Well, that's about 40 or 50. But there are other companies in this general area with similar systems.
Yes, I know. I'm going to contact them, too.
Good.
Now, Mr. Danton, when your mechanics install these cameras, please tell them only this.
Yes?
They're just an additional feature of your regular alarm system.
Oh, naturally. Mighty nice-looking job, these cameras. My boy would love to have one for himself.
Well, later on, Mr. Harding told me he wants them to be available to everyone. I'll let you know. Meantime, be cautious about it.
We'll be discreet, Mr. Peters.
Good. And let's hope the counterspies will be successful. Goodbye, Mr. Denton. And, Mr. Frost, you do have a chemical analysis of the lot of your cough remedy that was hijacked.
Better than that, Mr. Peters. We keep a spectroscope card of every lot.
Color breakdown?
That's right, Mr. Peters. We take a sample of every batch we make. Then we throw a light on it, project it through a prism that breaks it down into its component colors, and photograph those colors for our records.
We want to make copies of that color card, Mr. Frost.
You're welcome to. If you can match it exactly with a sample, that sample will be from the lot that was stolen.
That's what we hope to do, Mr. Frost. Thank you.
Dr. Boswell. Boswell. Yes? Oh, Mr. Harding. Wait till I turn this off.
How's it coming, Dr. Boswell?
Well, as you see, I've been working with this standard truck engine mounted on blocks. Mr. Harding, the problem's licked.
Good. Show me.
Well, here's the oil. I've impregnated it with a green fluorescent pigment.
It looks like ordinary oil.
Well, look at it under our black light lamp.
Well, a nice, bright green dot.
Yes, you equip our patrol cars with a black light headlamp, and it'll pick up this spot on a road at 40 feet.
Well, now, have you worked out a way of dropping the oil for a trail?
Yes, sir. You see, just back of the oil crankcase, this can?
Yes, I see it.
Well, it has a hole in it and a shutter arrangement like a camera. The shutter is driven by a small electric motor and continually revolves inside the can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, this switch here, which can be fastened to the truck dashboard, controls the outlet in the can. The moment the driver switches it on, oil starts dripping.
Good. Good enough. Boswell will have 100 of these made up right away, will you?
All right, sir.
Mr. Harding, Mr. Peters is on the phone. Mr. Harding, Mr. Peters is on the phone.
Excuse me, Doctor. Mrs. Harding, put Mr. Peters on this line, please. Peters?
Yes, Dave.
How's it going?
Okay. I've arranged for the installation of the cameras, and I've got a color card on Dobbs' cough remedy, one of the hijacked items.
Oh, that's better than I expected. We'll have copies of it made and forwarded to all our field offices in those Midwestern states.
I've already done that, Chief.
Good. Also, send a TWX to our field offices. Have them buy samples of the remedy from every retail outlet in their area.
Right.
Then they're to make color cards of the samples to check with the card on the stolen lot.
Will do.
You meet me in Central City. We'll work out of our field office there, since it's the biggest city in the area.
Forwarded from Washington. Spectroscope analysis, Dobbs cough remedy reveals Midland Drug Store's only outlet handling the stolen batch here in Danville. Will continue report.
There it is again, Dave. Midland Drug Company.
9 times in 2 weeks.
And not another company in this whole area has had a single bottle of that batch of cough remedy.
Peters, call Joe Lincoln in our tax department. We'll set up some excuse to examine the Midland Drug Company's books.
Okay.
Wait a minute, hold it. Counterspy Field Office, Harding speaking. Oh? 3/4 of an hour overdue. You have a map of the route he was taking? Good. I'll be over at your office. I'll pick it up in 10 minutes. Goodbye.
Hijacking, Dave?
That was the traffic manager of the Valley Trucking Company. One of their trucks is 3/4 of an hour overdue in Danville.
I'll get out a police alarm on it right away.
Well, now, if the truck's located, tell them to call us in patrol car number 23.
Right.
That's equipped with a black light headlamp. Now, we'll follow the truck's route, and I hope the driver had time enough and sense enough to turn on that oil switch. See anything yet, Peters?
No, not yet, Dave.
How far have we come?
About 35 miles from the city.
Well, hey, that hill up ahead.
Yeah.
Look, Peters. A pool of green on the road up ahead.
I see it.
Come on. Peters,
This is it. The hijackers must have let the motor idle after the driver turned on the oil switch.
search the side of the road. See if we can find the driver.
Right.
Dave, here he is, out cold.
Is he all right?
I felt his pulse. Just unconscious.
Well, radio the state police to pick him up right away. Then we'll pick up the trail of these oil drops and hope they lead to a real pickup. Not too fast, Peters. We followed the trail about 15 miles. They must be turning off the road pretty soon.
All right, Chief.
Wait, hold it. Stop.
What is it?
No more oil spots on the highway.
We passed a dirt road on our right just a few yards back.
Back up. They must have turned in there.
The road's getting worse, Dave. We may be getting close.
Better stop the car, Peters. I'll take the black light hand lamp and go ahead on foot. Now, I'll wave you ahead as long as I can follow the trail of oil drops. See, Peters? The fluorescent oil spots end right at that barn.
Then they double back where they drove the truck out again.
Wonderful hideout. An abandoned farm really in the backwoods.
There's a light in only one room in the old farmhouse.
Well, gun's ready, Peters. We may need it.
Washing dishes. Always they leave the dirty work to Fatso. Always. Someday I'm going to tell that corny someday. Eat like pigs. The dish is so dirty. They call me Fatso.
What? All right, big boy. Take it easy and keep holding that dish.
He said keep holding it.
Who are you guys?
United States Counterspy.
Huh?
You're under arrest for hijacking.
Counterspies? How'd you find this place?
We might tell you if you tell us some of the things we want to know.
I don't do no talking.
Maybe not here.
Well, a ride may loosen your tongue. Get going.
Well, now, look. Let me get rid of this apron, huh? I'd look awful silly being arrested in an apron.
Okay, put down that dish. Get your jacket on.
At least that's one dish I won't have to clean.
There's a lot of dishes to clean in prison. And you could use the exercise.
Always cracks about my front porch. Even the cops even.
Skip the lamentations. Start moving. You've got a lot of questions to answer. All right, now, Fatso.
Car radio, Chief.
Yeah, I'll take it, Peters. Keep driving.
Garland, Counterspy, car 23, Mr. Harding. Darling, Counterspy car 23, Mr. Harding.
Harding speaking, Haley. Go ahead.
I'm at the Valley transportation truck that was hijacked. The local police found it abandoned here in Milton, a suburb of Central City.
Nice going, Haley. The cameras, have you checked them?
Yes, sir. I brought a portable development outfit along when we got the flash about the truck.
What results?
Plenty. There are 7 people in the photos. 3 men unloading the truck, a girl checking the load, a human blimp eating a candy bar, and 2 other men.
Any identification?
You haven't heard it all, Mr. Harding. The local police have checked the miniature photos, and they swear that one of the men is Mr. Midland.
Midland?
Head of the Midland Drug Company.
Okay, Haley. Get a squad of men together and head for the Midland Drug Warehouse in Central City.
Okay, Mr. Harding.
We'll meet you there. Just keep it under observation. Don't move until we arrive.
Right, sir.
Step on it, Peters. I'll have a little chat with Fatso back here. After what he's heard, I'm sure he feels a lot more like talking. Don't you, Fatso?
The last of the load's been put away in the warehouse.
Any items that we don't order through our regular channel?
Nope, all standard products.
How much was the load worth, Joyce?
Approximately $10,000, Corny.
5% of that is $500 bucks.
Not bad for a night's work, eh, Cornelius?
Yeah, I'm happy, Mr. Midland.
Good. As we get bigger, there'll be more money in it for you.
I hope so.
Put out the warehouse lights, Joyce. We may as well leave.
Right, Mr. Midland.
We all leave together, Mr. Midland?
Why not? Just an industrious boss and his equally industrious employees working overtime.
All right, Mr. Midland. All lights out.
Let's go.
Hello, Mr. Midland.
What? I'm sorry, I don't...
Know me? You will, Mr. Midland, you will. I'd like you and your companions to come with me.
Who do you think you are, guy?
His name is David Harding. Harding?
Counterspy.
Oh, my...
I don't understand.
It's no use, Midland. We've got the whole picture of your hijacking set up in nice, clear pictures.
Oh, no. Corny, get him, Peter.
All right, Dave, I've got him. But I don't understand. I had it all figured. My setup, my big organization.
There's one thing you didn't figure, Midland. The counter-spies have a bigger organization. Okay, Peters, let's take them along.
When your friends drop in, be generous, but be thrifty, too. Serve plenty of delicious Pepsi-Cola. Pepsi's big 12-ounce bottle gives you not just 1 sparkling glassful, but 2. Get a carton of 6 and serve 12 delicious drinks. Yes, Pepsi is America's biggest cola value. You get twice the tangy taste, twice the refreshment, twice the Pepsi. So why take less when Pepsi is best? Whenever you reach for refreshment, remember...
Pepsi-Cola hits the spot. 2 full glasses, that's a lot. Lots more value, lots more zest. Why take less when Pepsi's best?
Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday, same time, same station, to Counterspy. Listen next Tuesday for the exciting Counterspy case of the photographed furrier.
When international complications were threatened because of stolen furs, your counter-spies had to use a camera and a special cameraman. How this setup ran into an unusual obstacle that spelled murder will be exposed next Tuesday. Be sure to be tuned in for
Case of the Photographed Furrier on Counterspy. Tonight's Counterspy program originated in New York, was directed by Mark B. Loeb, dramatized by Palmer Thompson, and featured Don McLaughlin and Mandel Kramer with music by Jesse Crawford. Bob Shepard speaking. Counterspy is a Phillips H. Lord production for Pepsi-Cola. Enjoy some Pepsi, ice cold tonight.
It was a grim joke that started when 6 heirs came to an ugly house on a rain-swept island to hear a madman's will. But the joke soon turned to murder, and in the end it was hard to tell who had the last laugh.
From the pen of Raymond Chandler, outstanding author of crime fiction, comes his most famous character in The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. Now, with Gerald Moore, starred as Philip Marlowe, we bring you tonight's exciting story, The Last Laugh.
I'd spent a week wading through moldy beer joints and cheap hotels after a dancer on the downgrade. And when I found her, she was 2 days dead in a coal cellar, all of which left me with a rancid taste in my mouth. But when I woke up after a night's sleep to the tune of a robin on my windowsill, I realized it was spring and time for Marlowe to take a long, easy weekend someplace. Someplace where the surf meets sand like it does at, say, Ensenada. Without so much as a second thought, I threw some clothes in a bag, phoned the Riviera Pacifico for reservations, and charged out the door, where I ran head-on into a funny man with a studious face charging in.
I'm awfully sorry. Why, you're Philip Marlowe.
Yeah, I know.
My name is Dow, and I represent the law firm that handles the interests of Julius Spangler. Therefore,
did you say Julius Spangler? Goodbye, Mr. Dow.
Now, wait, Mr. Marlowe.
Now, listen, I had a run-in with that screwball Spangler less than a month ago. A man was knocked down a flight of stairs, I got shot at, an apartment house was set on fire, and Julius called it a practical joke and laughed himself silly. Best I could do for him was 3 days in jail. It should have been 3 years. Goodbye, Mr. Darwin.
But that sort of thing is all over now, Mr. Marlowe. Mr. Spangler is dead.
Spangler's dead?
Yes, he died last week in Brazil, the result of a hunting accident. And he has named you in his will.
He's named me? You mean I...
Precisely. You're one of Mr. Spangler's heirs. I shall read the will tonight at 8 o'clock in his home on Catalina Island. I trust you'll be present?
Not on your life. It's me for Ensenada, and nothing's going to stop me. Goodbye, Mr. Darwin.
There are only 5 other heirs.
Huh?
And the estate runs well over $500,000.
Oh?
Almost any way you split that much up, Mr. Marlowe, it comes out something more substantial than a weekend at Ensenada. Goodbye, Mr. Marlowe.
It was fantastic. But then so was Julius Spangler. Who knows? Maybe he actually admired me for throwing him in jail. And after all, what's old Mexico got that Catalina doesn't have in better? What could I lose? It was only a matter of minutes before I was in Wilmington and climbing the gangplank of the last boat to Catalina Island. She nosed past the breakwater and headed for the open sea, and the green water glistened with gold from the sun, slanting into a bank of clouds on the horizon. This was a life. I sat back and relaxed for all of 10 seconds before the name Spangler came up again. This time being volleyed between a matron meticulously tailored by I.J. Fox, who clung to a pipe-smoking gentleman at the rail, and a cute blonde ball of fire facing them.
Some of my friends are aboard, and I don't want to be seen with you.
Look, you may be Your Highness Millicent Burke Ashby to those snoots, but you're still just Millie Spangler to me, you overstuffed social climber.
Why, you insufferable little upstart.
You're nothing. I'll give him a good show, like this.
Nicky.
Oh, Bennett, take me away from here. I think I'm going to faint.
I'm not. Well, what are you staring at, Buster? Haven't you ever seen a red jersey sweater before?
How do you do? Yeah, that sweater plus that right hook of yours adds up to quite an exhibition. You must belong to Julius.
He was my uncle, but... Now, wait. Don't tell me you're in his will, too. Then you're Philip Marlowe.
Yeah, I got him 3 days in the cooler, so now I'm an heir. Who are your two friends?
Millicent Burke Ashby, my half-sister, a professional snob I'm going to get mad enough to have to kill one of these days. The jerk with her is Bennett Haynes, a cousin not enough times removed. They're also heirs.
Which still leaves 2 more.
Yeah, an old geezer who collects butterflies, and that blockhead Roderick who passed for secretary and companion to Uncle Julius.
Yeah, I know Roderick. And what do you pass for, Nicky? As if I couldn't tell.
You can't. Ever been to Nick's Bar and Grill on La Brea, Marlowe? Well, I'm Nick.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. And if this inheritance hadn't come along, I'd have lost my shirt. Boy, I'm really in a money jam, and Uncle Julius is saving the day for me.
Yeah, but he had to die to do it.
Well, sure, that's the only way he ever would. I wrote and asked him for a $10,000 loan once. Got a check back in the return mail, but it was signed by Alexander Hamilton. So I came out here to Catalina to see him, but he'd already left for Iceland. I spent a week by myself painting his launch for amusement. Then I went home again without a cent.
Yeah, he was a charmingly whimsical old man. By the way, where's his house?
Over on the deserted side of the island, naturally.
Naturally.
The only way to get to it is by launch. Roderick's going to meet us when we dock at Avalon.
Oh, fine. You mean we'll be stuck at Spangler's old house all night?
Is that bad, Phil? It's quite lovely. In a lot of ways.
2 hours later, we docked at Avalon. The clouds that had been on the horizon were now overhead and looking very soggy. Roderick, the late Mr. Spangler's secretary, in a striped silk shirt, gold hickok cufflinks, polka dot bow tie, and derby, was waiting for us with a launch. And after we had all shivered through another spray-splashed, wave-bucking hour and a half, we finally pulled into a small cove. A house squatted alone on a point of rocks 100 practically vertical feet above the water. And as we laboriously made our way up to it, the rains came. Julius Spangler would have loved it. When the door closed behind us, everyone dashed for the nearest fireplace, except me. I was cornered by a septuagenarian with a shock of white hair, a scraggly yellow mustache, and spectacles so thick it looked like shot glasses with horn rims. He rolled up in a wheelchair, which he handled like it was a hot rod, skidded to a stop, and shoved a fistful of brandy out at me.
Howdy, young fella.
This, I figured, was the butterfly-collecting cousin,
Yeah.
Matthew Spangler.
Better have a slug of this before pneumonia sets in. Well, sir, I suppose you're here for the reading of Cousin Julius's will?
Yeah,
So
that's
am I,
right.
so am I. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Oh.
He's leaving me his collection of nymphidium. Butterflies, you know. I don't like money, just bugs.
Figures.
Yes, sir. Been an entomologist for 50 years, lepidopterist for 40. I've got specimens of 12,000 species. Only a few thousand left to go.
Practically nothing.
You've a keen mind.
Mhm.
Here, have a cigar.
Thank you. No,
Go on. It's the best. Save it for later when you got something to celebrate. Oh, there's Roderick. He'll show you around. I want to go meet these young ladies. So long, son. I'll see you. Out of the way, Roderick.
Hey, watch it. Crazy wheelchair jockey almost ran me down. Well, Mr. Marlowe, it's nice to have you with us.
Yeah, I'll bet. Look, Roderick, why did Julius stick me in his will along with all his relatives?
I don't know. Maybe he was nuts.
You can say that again. Keeping all his junk, for instance.
Junk? Well, these are trophies. That burnt match there was used in the first Hartford. Julius perfected that gag in 1903.
Spangler contribution to American culture, huh?
Well, get you. What did you ever do? Wait, wise guy. This one's even better. He panicked the whole city with this morning newspaper headline. Here.
The report of baby snakes in city water system false?
Yeah. He tells them there's nothing to it, and they still blow their tops. That's tremendous, huh?
Yeah, quaint.
Julius was right. You got no sense of humor. The lawyer Darwin will read the will in 30 minutes, so be ready.
I passed a half hour at a window with Nicky, watching the rain slash at the glass. Then at 8 o'clock on the button, the library door swung open, and Darwin summoned the 6 of us into the room. As we sat down, the lawyer chewed his way through the legal preliminaries. For the first time, there was a tense hush. $500,000 changing hands was an impressive occasion. And what was more impressive was that I might get some of it. I even caught myself wondering about inheritance tax as Darwin completed the introduction of the will.
Yes, it will bring us up to the disposition of the real and personal property of Julius Spangler, who passed away this life March 26, 1949.
Oh, poor old Julius. I can't believe he's really gone, Millicent, you know.
Oh, he was a darling beneath it all, Bennett. Poor, lonely, dear Uncle Julius.
Oh, quiet. Get on with it, you old relic. Read it.
Yes, go on, please.
Yes. There you are. First, to my dear cousin Matthew, I leave my cyanide jar, the silk net, and the collection of nymphalidia.
Good old Julius. I knew he'd do it. Bless his old bones.
Yes, well, to Philip Marlowe, intrepid shamus. That's private detective, I think.
Oh.
Yes, private detective. With no sense of humor, 10,000 empty beer bottles worth 5 cents apiece. Clean. These aren't.
Yes. Well, for this, I skipped Ensenada. I should learn.
Oh, Phil, I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
please, Nicky. What did you expect, really?
Millicent, be quiet. Go ahead, Darwin. What about us, his real heirs?
Yes, well, to Millicent Burke Ashby, grannies, $50,000, which is...
Uncle Julius.
Which is the value of a fish market at Central and Northrop Streets on the condition that she personally operate this market for 1 year.
Oh, good heavens, I think I'm going to sing.
Oh, shut up, Matthew. Go on, Darwin. Am I next?
Yes, you are. Yes. $75,000 and a dog sled.
Dog sled? Well, what's that for?
Oh, to get your claim. You see, the money is the assayed minimum value of a gold claim at Point Anxiety, Alaska.
Oh, no.
Which it says here you must develop with your own hands.
Why, that doddering old fool. I'll fight this travesty of a will through every court in the state. You'll never get away with it.
Oh, wait a minute. You've never worked for anything in your life, Bennett.
What was that?
Oh, you two got no more than you deserved.
Why?
What about me, Darwin? I've worked at least.
Well, Miss Spangler, I believe you better sit down. To my grandniece, Nicola, who has learned how to work hard for what she wants, I leave my sincere congratulations and $1.
Oh, no, he wouldn't. I need money now.
And finally, all the remainder of my property, real and personal, I bequeath to a most genteel, brilliant, and loyal man, my secretary, Roderick D. Driscoll.
What? No, ain't that sweet of the old man? Oh, my...
You left me all that That's over $300,000 to this baboon here.
You'll never get it. I'll call my lawyer. He'll fight you here. Like I say.
Oh, this is horrible.
Yeah, it's too bad, baby. Well, you can have my $500 fortune in old beer bottles. Me for Ensenada.
Oh, what's so funny, Matthew?
He got what he wanted, Nicky. Let him laugh.
I'll say I did. Wow! Shut up, Matthew.
Stop it, Matthew. You're hysterical, Matthew.
Hysterical, eh? I sure am, kiddo. But Matthew... Get a load of this!
We all stood there with our mouths hanging open as the old invalid leaped to his feet, tipped over his wheelchair, made a grab for his shock of white hair with one hand and ripped it off. It was a wig and a good one. With the other hand, he saw the phony yellow mustache off his lip and still laughing like a ticklish hyena. He identified himself as the one and only Julius Spangler, alive and in the flesh.
Yes, this is the crowning achievement of my career. Look at you. Look at your silly faces. I wasn't going to give it away till tomorrow, but I couldn't hold it back. Ooh, this is rich. The best gag we ever pulled. Right, Roderick? Roderick!
Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. This is humiliating. I'm calling the firm at once.
You're mad, Julius. Absolutely insane.
Why? Why? Because you can't stand the smell of fish?
Oh.
What about you, Marlowe? Did I get the last laugh on you, or didn't I, eh?
You did. And you're still nothing but a mixed-up jerk, Julius.
Wonderful. But I want to see you mixed up with those dirty beer bottles. Wash the labels off. Get nickel back, you know.
I'd like to break every one of them across the bridge of your nose, funny man.
That's what I like. A good sport. How about it, Nicky? Isn't it funny?
Not very.
What do you mean? I sat in at the reading of my own will. So now I know what you really think of me.
Not quite, you don't. Because I think this.
But, you vixen, you spit on me. How dare you? I'll kill you.
No, you don't, Spangler. Stop it. You lay a hand on her, I'll flatten you in spite of your years. That goes for you, too, Roderick. Stay back.
None of you can take a joke. Look after these fools, Roderick. Give them anything they want. I'm going to have a good laugh all by myself.
After the mastermind of the impractical joke had guffawed his way out of the room, Roderick took his life in his hands and invited everyone to coffee and brandy. But the zest had gone out of the erstwhile airs like the snap from a second-hand girdle. So without as much as a backward glance, they all went their separate ways to their rooms. All but Marlowe. I drank coffee and brandy, and since the rain had stopped, tried for 20 minutes to threaten, bribe, and argue Roderick out of a way back to Avalon. But he swore it was impossible, and I was about to swear back at him when we heard it. We ran to the French doors at the end of the room and out. Millicent was on the walk outside, her hands clamped against her mouth, staring down at the rocks near the surging water 80 feet below.
Mrs. Ashby, what happened?
What is it? Millicent, what's the matter?
It's Julius. He's down there. He must have fallen.
Yeah. Either that or he was pushed by somebody who couldn't take a joke.
In just a moment, we will return to the second act of The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. But first, it stands to reason. It's a proven fact. If we all work together to produce more per man, per machine, per hour, every one of us will gain from the cooperation. This is the American economic system. It operates for the benefit of all the people. We can and should cooperate for better jobs, higher incomes, more of the good things of life. For your free copy of the booklet, The Miracle of America, write Box 10, Times Square Station, New York City. Now, with our star, Gerald Moore, we return to the second act of Philip Marlowe and tonight's story, The Last Laugh.
It was 80 feet from Spangler's balcony to the ugly jumble of sharp black rock that lined the shore. And it was there, minutes after Millicent's all-out scream, that Roderick and I found the broken body of the man whose raucous laugh still seemed to be tangled in the wind around us. And when we turned our eyes up from the death at our feet back to the balcony above, we could barely make out the crosspiece of the porch rail still dangling at a crazy angle from its single remaining support, with all the ominous silence of a gallows.
Gee, Mr. Marlowe, I can't believe that he's gone and that all this really happened. So... Mr. Marlowe, what are you looking at?
Up there on the balcony.
Huh?
There's someone moving, Roderick, which makes this a good time to start counting noses. Let's go.
Well, what about Millicent? Shouldn't we look after her?
No, for the time being. Come on. Come on, Roderick. I want the fastest way over those side stairs there. You lead us back up to the balcony because right now I'm in one big hurry.
There's nobody here, Marlowe. Are you sure you don't...
Hold it. Somebody's coming. Get back away from the rail.
Why, it's Bennett Haynes.
Yeah. I'm very interested in the spot where that crosspiece came loose from the top of that post.
Well, what's he doing there now? I mean, the way he's scratching something across the top of it.
The gentleman, Roderick, has forgotten that it rained.
Oh.
He's trying to strike a match on wet wood. Mr. Haynes!
What?
Would you like to use my thumbnail? It's dry.
Oh, fine. Marlowe, what are you and Roderick doing here?
It's called spying. And you, Mr. Haynes?
I am here, Marlowe, because I think it's very strange that this accident should have happened less than an hour after Julius Spangler left a room full of people who hated him.
Which incidentally included you?
Yes, but I know that I had nothing to do with this. Now, here, a couple of matches for that stellar thumbnail.
Don't go too close to the edge, Marlowe.
Thanks, Roderick. I won't. I'll only go close enough to...
Marlowe, if you're staring at that mark across the top of the post, stop wasting your time. I just made it with that match that wouldn't light on wet wood, remember?
Mm-hmm. But that mark is not what I'm staring at. It's this green one here on the edges of the top of the post. A mark that could mean somebody pried the crosspiece loose with an object that was covered with green paint. All of which points up two things, huh? First, that someone murdered Spangler by loosening this rail, and second, that I've still got a couple of noses left to count. One belongs to a lawyer named Darwin, and the other to the fancy owner of Nick's Bar and Grill.
What's that? It's Millicent there, down below.
In trouble. Come on. Let's follow the leader with me out in front, back down the wooden stairs and over to the spot where Millicent Burke Ashby, the tailored lady, was sprawled over a lot of soft ground. Unhurt, but coming apart at the seams in more ways than one. I sent Bennett Haynes off to find Darwin and then helped Millicent to her feet. Shook well and waited for results. Millicent, make sense. Come on. Take it from the top, will you? Tell us what happened.
Oh, it was Nicky.
Yeah?
I saw her running away from the house.
Go on.
She was running toward the water.
And when you tried to stop her, she knocked you down?
Yes, she slapped me and said I should keep my mouth shut.
Did she say why?
No, she just said something about green paint.
Green paint? What about it? Come on, Millicent, think hard. What about the paint?
I don't know. What does it mean, Marlowe?
We've got to get to Nicky Spangler fast. Roderick, she was headed down toward the water. How many boats are tied up there?
Just a launch and a little...
Yeah?
No, wait a second. There's the outboard. She used to run that herself.
All right, then we split. You for the launch and me for the outboard. Now, where is it?
We're down there, and I poached it behind the trees. But you better let me take care of that, Marlowe. It's dark and slippery in there, and I know my way around.
Oh, thanks. I'll take my chances. At the moment, I'm very anxious to meet up with that lady again in person. Now, you get to the launch, and you, Millicent, back to the house. Whoever finds her, yell. Good and loud. The boat shed was a one-room bungalow on stilts. When I started inside, slowly, unsure of both my footing and the company on hand, I was suddenly very sorry that I'd left my .38 back in L.A. But in the next minute, I began to breathe easier because just visible ahead of me was the Spangler outboard. And when I got closer, I saw that it was empty. Then I heard somebody behind me. I turned just in time to see a thick, crooked branch coming at my head fast. Oh! couldn't tell if the warm blood trickling from the cut just below my ear was from where the branch had hit my head or from where my head had hit the planking. But it didn't matter because either way it hurt. I got to my feet slowly. I reached into my pocket for one of the matches that Haynes had given me in the faint hope that a little light might reveal something about whoever had been guilty of relaxing me like a chocolate soldier in a Turkish bath. But then, even as I was about to strike the match, I stopped. Framed at one side of the open doorway was the silhouette of a man. I stood where I was and waited motionless while he slowly took a step toward me and another. When he started on his third, I grabbed him.
Let go of me. What are you
Twisting your arm, Darwin, just in case you're still carrying a thick branch.
I haven't got anything in my hand.
All right. Now, what are you doing here? Come on, barrister. At the moment you're my witness, so talk. Why are you here?
I spoke to Millicent. Now, Mr. Marlowe, is the witness relieved?
Yeah, I guess so. Sorry about your arm, Darwin, but the last visitor here wasn't empty-handed. This time I wanted to be ready.
Do you have any idea who the visitor was, Mr. Marlowe?
No, I don't. I was just going to strike this match to see if I could... Oh, my head.
Oh, here, Mr. Marlowe. Let me strike it for you.
Thanks.
I doubt it will do any good. Oh. Now, there, you see anything?
No, nothing. Well, it was a long shot anyway.
And what? What do you see, Mr. Marlowe? What is it?
Darwin. Something I should have seen a long time ago. And by that I mean that the launch of Nicky Spangler is my next stop. Goodbye, friend. Thanks for the interruption. It may save a life. It was a 440 with plenty of obstacles and no lights from the boat shed down to the launch. But even as I got there, out of breath with the shooting pains in my head making a dartboard out of the lining of my scalp, I knew who had murdered Julia Spangler. But I didn't know were the whys and wherefores of the green paint that had everybody running. A minute later, I quietly climbed aboard the launch and started slowly for the stern where I could hear voices. I knew that the explanation wasn't far off. When I was close enough to see Nicky standing in the reflected light of the moonwash, I didn't have to hear anything because, clenched in her hands and held close to her side, was the answer to the marks I'd seen on the post on Spangler's balcony. It was a crowbar, the business end of it covered with green paint. Opposite her was the reason for the fear in her voice. It was the man who had killed the practical joker, Julia Spangler's ever-faithful secretary, Roderick.
You're being awful stubborn, Nicky, which is something you must have got from your late granduncle. Now, give me that crowbar.
Why? So you can get rid of it, me too, and then return to the others and mourn the loss of your employer?
Sure. I just love everyone to think that I miss him terribly when the truth is that I killed him. I hated him and his stupid jokes every minute of every day that I worked for him. Hated him, Nicky, the way I hate you and your snooping ways. Now, give me that crowbar!
Don't do it, Nicky. Don't move, Roderick. I'll blow your head off.
Phil, thank goodness.
I'll get back, Buster, get away from her, and stay in one place or I'll shoot. So help me.
Marlowe, he did it. He killed Julius because he hated him.
That and a chance at $500,000, right, Broderick?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Then, oh, my head.
What is it, Marlowe?
Nothing, honey. I walked into a branch that our friend here was holding a little while ago.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
And I'll make it real plain. Roderick, you killed Julius Spangler because you wanted to turn his greatest practical joke into a bonanza for yourself. You wanted that screwy Will to stand. Nobody else was in on the gag, not even the lawyer. So nobody else would ever know that it was only a gag. Nor would anybody care that some wacky old cousin who liked butterflies accidentally fell to his death.
But, Marlowe, Julius was killed after we all knew the whole thing was only a practical joke.
Yeah, but that wasn't part of the original plan, Nicky. Julius wasn't going to unmask himself in the joke about the will until the next morning. Isn't that also correct, Roderick?
Yeah, that's correct, smart guy.
Yeah.
I was going to get everything. But when that failed, I still wanted him to die. And I would have gotten away with that if this dame here hadn't been so curious about those green markings on the railing.
And, Roderick, if this same dame hadn't also remembered a crowbar that she'd once spilled some green paint
I
on.
heard enough.
Yeah, for the time being, I guess you have.
Oh, Marlowe, it's your head again, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it, the poor boy?
No, you don't, Roderick. Stay back. Oh, Marlowe, you all right?
Huh?
Are you?
Not exactly, honey. Did you get him?
Yeah, with the crowbar, no less.
Oh.
But you better give me your gun in case he wakes up suddenly.
I can't. I haven't got one, baby.
You don't have one? But you're going to pass out. What'll I do with him?
Oh, baby, there's only one thing to do. Let him have it again.
Marlowe, are you all right now?
Oh, yeah, I'm all right. What's going on? Oh, Nicky.
Nicky. And before you can say, where am I, I'll tell you, honey. This is Avalon, a lovely spot on the island of Santa Catalina. Now, 2 o'clock in the morning, your head isn't so much as fractured, and you're sitting up in a chair that belongs to the nice lady who rented you this room at a reasonable price.
And the others?
All back at the place, except, of course, Roderick. Last I heard of him, he was still answering questions for policemen. Which, by the way, brings me right to the point. This I gotta know. Phil, how did you figure that Roderick was guilty?
Wet wood, Nicky. Wet wood that should have been dry. It was up on Julius Spangling's balcony. The top of the post that had green moss on it was wet, even though the tight-fitting crosspiece that rested over it should have kept it dry. So obviously the rail was pried loose just before the wool was red, while it was still raining.
How do you figure, Marlowe?
No, because it had stopped raining and the moon was shining by the time Matthew identified himself as Julius Spangler.
But no one would have wanted to kill Uncle Julius without having heard the will.
Nobody but Roderick, who was in on the whole joke and knew that he was going to get $300,000 out of the phony will. So he merely pushed the old man off the balcony, made it look like an accident, see?
Yeah. And you doped all this out just like that?
Well, no, not just like that, Nicky. Finally, I caught on. And now, sweetheart, in spite of the bandage, I think a little stroll along the beach is going to do me a lot of good. You know, I'm officially on vacation. Rest and recreation for 2 full days at least.
Here in Avalon, maybe?
Where else? See you later, Nicky. I got outside and down to the pretty strip of beach that runs along behind the spot where the steamer docks. I felt a lot better. I sat down on the moon-drenched sand and relaxed for the first time that night. As I sat there, I reached into my breast pocket for a cigarette, but instead came out with the expensive cigar that Matthew Spangler had given me. It wasn't until I had lit it and was puffing along that I suddenly remembered that Matthew Spangler had really been Julius, so I got rid of the cigar. Hey, just in time. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but maybe Julius Spangler, wherever he was having the last laugh, after all.
The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, created by Raymond Chandler, star Gerald Moore, and are produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Script is by Mel Donnelly, Robert Mitchell, and Gene Levitt. Featured in the cast were Ellen Reed as Julius Spangler and Doris Singleton as Nicky, with Ann Morrison, John Daner, Paul Duboff, and Peter Leeds. The special music is by Richard O'Runt. Be sure and be with us again next week when Philip Marlowe says...
The partner from Mexico City, the stranger dead in Nevada, and the man with the cauliflower ear. All added up to a corpse on a concrete floor. But I couldn't figure why until I'd found out that there was one name above all that had to be remembered.
Tonight, CBS's great hour-long Saturday night fun show, Sing It Again, will be back on the air after a week's absence. Be sure to be around later tonight when Sing It Again returns with its phantom voice mystery and its riddle songs, which pay off in wonderful prizes. This is Roy Rowan speaking. Now, stay tuned for The Case of the Red-Headed Bank Robber, tonight's Gangbusters drama, which follows immediately over most of these same CBS stations. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Crime does not pay. I think you better change your mind, Stone.
I told you, Lug, I don't repeat myself, not more than once.
The boss won't like it.
I don't like this kind of operation. You can tell that to your boss. And you can tell him, too, I'm taking my business elsewhere.
You can't do that, Stone. The boss controls the territory. You buy from him or nobody?
I buy where I please, and I don't buy hijacked goods. Now, beat it before I have you thrown out.
You're throwing who out of where?
I told you I don't repeat myself.
You're so right about that, Stone. You won't repeat yourself. To me or nobody. Not with a belly full of lead, you won't.
In the interest of good citizenship and law enforcement, we present Crime Does Not Pay, based on the famous Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer series of short subjects. In just a moment, you will hear Once Too Often, starring Herbert Rudley. Now, Crime Does Not Pay, starring Herbert Rudley as Ollie the Lug Barker in Once Too Often. There is a familiar adage that civilization, like beauty, is only skin deep. From time to time, proof of this is offered in the person of people from whom the veneer of civilization has cracked, if it ever existed for them. Ollie, known as the Lug Barker, was such a person. Ollie served his boss Riggs, in several ways. One was in the collection of outstanding bills. The other, a direct outgrowth of the first, in the swift elimination of debtors who refused to pay. Ollie enjoyed his work, particularly the latter portion. To Ollie's elemental mind, death had no meaning when other people died. This made Ollie valuable to his boss and a trusted lieutenant.
Lug, I've got a small job for you.
The rope or the piece, boy?
Neither is yet. Stick around. I want you to hear this phone call.
That. I'm sticking.
Dave Stone speaking.
Dave, this is Boss Riggs.
Oh, hiya. It's business or pleasure?
Business. Can you use the shipment?
What's in it?
Mix, mostly scotch. A few cases of brandy, half dozen imported champagne.
You're making tie-in sales these days, Riggs? I can have the scotch if I take the other stuff, huh?
It all came off the pier together. Right off the boat and right under the long noses of the customs boys.
How much?
Legitimate around $10,000. This way you can have it for $5,000.
That's a lot of liquor.
You run a busy joint. You can use it. And more besides.
Well informed, aren't you?
In my business, I have to be. You want it, you can have it tonight.
I haven't got the 5Gs floating around just now. Too many holdups.
$2,500 when the lug delivers, the rest in 10 days.
It's a deal. Send him over with the truck. Around 3:30?
He'll be there. You heard that, Lug?
I heard. Deliver the load, pick up 2.5 Gs. What's this off the pier routine, boss? We hijacked that stuff night before last. It's hotter than a pistol.
What Dave Stone don't know won't hurt him. And I want to unload. Hijacked liquor is unhealthy. Make the delivery, Lug, and be back here with the cash by 4 a.m. I'll wait for you.
Keep the change, cabby.
Good evening, Mr. Barker.
Stone inside?
I can't see Mr. Barker.
I'll see for myself.
I'm sorry, the club is full unless you have a reservation.
Out of my way, jerk. I said I'll see for myself.
Good evening, Mr. Barker.
All you guys say the same thing. Why don't you change the script?
I'm very sorry, Mr. Barker. As you see, the rope is up. A very good house tonight.
Stone here?
I will see, sir.
Never mind.
Anton, I don't think Mr. Stone is in yet.
Now I know he's here. And he's wise. You wouldn't come off the street in those 50-cent tips if you didn't have orders.
Please, Mr. Barker, disturbance is not necessary.
Out of my way, squarehead. I'm seeing Stone before he gets a chance to land. And I know the way. I've been here before, remember?
Mr. Barker, please.
Mr. Barker, I beg of you.
Lug. Yeah, the lug. Well, Lug, it's 3 weeks. The boss gave you 10 days for the balance. 2.5 Gs. Pay.
I don't pay for stolen goods.
Who says?
I do. That load was hijacked. They took me for $2,500 on it. Okay, that's the way the game's played. I take my chances buying from Riggs. He takes his chances on getting paid for stolen liquor.
The boss don't pay me for arguing. I want the dough.
No more. Period.
I think you better change your mind, Stone.
I told you, Lug, I don't repeat myself. Not more than once.
The boss won't like it.
I don't like this kind of operation. You can tell that to your boss. You can tell him, too, that I'm taking my business elsewhere.
You can't do that, Stone. The boss controls the territory. You buy from him or nobody.
I buy where I please, and I don't buy hijacked goods. Now beat it before I have you thrown out.
You're throwing who out of where?
I told you I don't repeat myself.
You're so right about that, Stone. You won't repeat yourself to me or nobody. Not with a belly full of lead, you won't. Anton, we shouldn't. This one is shooting us for skull. Only I'll blast you. You blast nobody else, you gun-crazy coon. All right, Anton. Now we call the cops.
Sit down, Barker. I want to talk to you.
Who are you?
Assistant District Attorney. My name's Fulton.
The one what invented the steamboat?
Cut it out, Barker. You're in no spot to get fresh with me.
Well, I'll get out of this rap. Just wait.
Not a cent. 2 witnesses caught you at the scene with a gun in your hand.
The boss will fix the rap.
You can't fix a killing, Barker. You've been around long enough to know that.
I've been around long enough to know that no DA comes down to this stinking jail just to talk.
That depends, Barker.
On what?
On what we might talk about.
I thought you said the boss couldn't fix no killing.
The boss, as you call your employer, Riggs, can't fix anything. But he can cost the taxpayers a lot of money by hiring the kind of lawyers who stretch your case for weeks.
Yeah, well, that's all right with me. The jury gets sick and tired of them, they're liable to let me off. I've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm. On the other hand, they may get so angry at losing valuable time from their regular work, they'll convict you. And a first-degree murder conviction, Barker, well, a man with your record doesn't get pardoned.
Okay, Spieler, so get to the point. You want to fry me. It'll look good next election.
I'm not especially anxious to, as you put it, fry you, Barker.
No? Well, what then? You making with a deal?
In a way. I want a conviction. You don't want a fry. Now, there may be common ground someplace in between.
Look, Mouthpiece, them fancy words mean something, I know. Suppose you spell it out for me. Nice and slow.
We don't have to go to trial at all, Barker.
One minute you got me all strapped in a hot seat, next you say I don't even have to go to no trial. Make up your mind.
The judge might accept a plea of manslaughter.
Oh, at last he tells me. Cop a plea. You talk to my mouthpiece?
Riggs hasn't hired one yet. I'm talking to you.
I gotta see a lawyer. You guys got too many tricks.
Now, look, this is very simple, Barker. Even you should understand. Now, look. You stand trial, you'll go to the chair. I don't believe there's any doubt about it. You plead guilty to second-degree manslaughter, behave yourself in prison, you come out alive after not too much time.
How much time?
Well, it depends on the judge. I'd say about 5 years, no more than 7 or 8. I'm not promising that, Barker, but that's the usual thing. Well, Barker?
I don't know.
You get your life, I get my conviction. The state saves expense, everybody gets a break. How about it?
You know, you sound like just one of those characters at a circus. Step right up, folks. Everybody wins. Nobody loses. Everybody
It's no joke, Barker. Killing a man is no joke. Except maybe to someone like you. What do you say? Take it or leave it?
You think I'm a dope? Of course I'm taking it. Match. What else?
Well, Lug, I must say you look well. Big house seems to agree with you. You're putting on weight.
Yeah. I'm being a good boy, like you said. I'm an assistant in the library. Next thing, I'll be babysitting for the warden and his missus.
And your spirits are high. Good boy.
Yeah. On visiting days, we always have dumplings.
Lug, you're all right.
Am I? What's cooking, boss?
Progress. We're making progress.
You've been saying that for almost 3 years. Progress. Never heard of him.
Now, the parole commission is very touchy, especially in cases like yours.
Too bad about them. They don't have to sit around this joint and say yes or the screws.
They don't like deals in murder cases.
Well, it was all legal and everything, wasn't it, boss?
Worked out fine. Your friend, the assistant DA, made DA. Now he's on his way to Congress.
Yeah. But where am I on my way to? Besides back to a cell.
Just a little more time, Logan.
I've been a good boy. I'm saying sir till my teeth ache.
Easy, Lud. Take it easy. Just a little while more. I'm getting to the commission again next month, and I got a hunch you'll be out before you know it.
Hey, boss. Can I come back to work for you like before?
You'll be on the payroll again. And I'll find something for you to do. You know I always take care of my boys.
Oh, sure, I know. But time's a wasting, boss. Get me out of here. I'm itching for action. Just get me out of here. You won't be sorry. I picked up a few new tricks from the fellas here. So wait till you see me in action again, boss. Oh, wait till you see me in action.
In just a moment, Crime Does Not Pay will continue with Once Too Often. Now we continue with Crime Does Not Pay, starring Herbert Rudley as Ollie the Lug Barker in Once Too Often. In due course, the good offices of the boss and his battery of legal talent worked for Ollie. The lug came out of prison on parole. The warden delivered his usual lecture. The guards, hardly fooled by the good behavior which had marked the lug's sojourn in the big house, escorted him to the gate, and he was on his own. Fully prepared to make his own way back to the city and the boss, the lug was surprised to find a car waiting at the gate.
Ollie, want to ride?
Oh, Nick. Joey, what are you doing here?
Well, that's easy to figure, isn't it? Older brother calls for younger brother and hopes he can help the young fella go straight.
You don't sound like you believe that yourself.
I'm not sure I do, but Ma wanted me to come up here, so I did. Get in.
Don't mind if I do. Home, James.
You want to come home?
Could be. Ain't seen the old lady since the day I copped that plea in court.
You were lucky they let you off that easy.
It was a deal. Connections. You gotta have connections.
I suppose you do.
In my business, you do.
Meaning not in mine?
Unless you do a lot of cleaning. The boss could help you in that racket, you know. He runs the cleaners in town.
No, thanks. I'm doing all right. If I need any connections, maybe I'll ask you.
The tailor business not so hot, Joey?
It's honest.
But not so hot.
The kids are growing up honest.
Like I didn't?
Well, if you want to put it that way.
Well, I ain't no more dishonest than you. I do like I'm told. I get paid, I don't double-cross nobody, and I give what I get paid for. That's honest.
Yeah, I suppose that's why you went to prison.
That was an accident. How should I know that squarehead in the doorman was there to grab me? And that the doorman had a blackjack? Can't figure everything. And I still say I'm honest.
Come on, cut it out, Ollie. You've been sulking for an hour. Okay, I agree. In your way, you're honest.
Okay, forget it.
Well, cheer up, kid. We're almost home.
Yeah, I ain't forgot the neighborhood. Even the same garbage cans like 10 years ago.
Pond Ma could move, but, Ma, well, you know how she is.
Yeah, I know. I know about Pa, too. He's still coming home stiff on Saturday?
He works hard. He's got a right to his relaxation. Even Ma says so.
Now she says so. Boy, she used to smack him around plenty. You remember the night she wanted to jump on it with both feet? We had to hold it down?
Yeah, well, they were both a lot younger then. She'd be glad to see you, Ollie. So far.
What'll she do? Pray over me because I knocked off a bum who should...
Well, what if she does? Will it hurt you to please her?
Okay. It was only asking.
Just behave yourself. You get me?
You could get an order. Big brother.
Yeah, and I can still take you anytime, any place, and I will if you make one crack in front of Ma.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Out. They sure put traffic lights at perfect corners.
Get back in. I'm blocking traffic.
There's you. I gotta go into that store. Something I want to buy. See the sign? That's a hot shop, brother.
Ma's expecting you.
Tell her I'll be around. Tell her I gotta see my boss about getting my job back first. And tell her I stopped in the hot shop to get me some tools for my work. See you later, Joey. Come on, get going. You're blocking traffic. And thanks for the ride. Think that jalopy holds together for another 4 blocks?
Come in.
Hiya, boy.
The lug. Well, you made it fast.
Yeah, my brother called for me.
You a brother?
Why not? And a father and a mother, too.
That's a switch. I thought you came into the world full grown. How come your brother was waiting at the gate?
He wants me to come home. Well, maybe not him so much, but Ma does.
You know, Lug, that might not be such a bad idea.
Me? Living home? After 3 years in college? Oh, you're kidding?
There's nothing a probation officer likes quite as much as a parolee who's living with his mother and going straight.
Oh, I get it. A cover-up.
No, Lug. No cover-up. I mean it. I mean it straight.
You mean you want me to go straight?
I do.
But look at the chance, boy. I live home like you and Ma want, see? Everybody thinks I'm doing okay. Maybe I even work for my brother to live in suits or something. And all the time I'm doing jobs for you and nobody knows the difference.
Sorry, Lug. No deal.
But you said...
What did I say, Lug?
You said I could have my old job back.
I didn't say when.
I ain't had no action. I'm burning up the... You didn't say when.
Figure it a minute, will you, Lug? What good are you to me right now?
Just as good. Maybe better than before.
You're on parole. Every cop around will be watching you. They probably know you're here right now. Any job you do, they'll trace right back to me. I can't have that, Lug. I'm sorry, but I can't risk my business like that.
And what you screw me for?
Because I always take care of my boys. You're on the payroll, kid. Half pay, but that's not bad.
I don't want no dough for doing nothing.
You'll be doing something. You'll be staying away, far away from me. One of the boys will bring you your dough every Friday.
I want to work. I tell you, I got great ideas.
No dice, Lug. You do one job and you'll go back and finish out your term.
Nobody's got to know.
But they'll know, Lug. Believe me, they'll know.
Look, boy, I left Joey at a traffic light, see? On account of because there was a hot shop on the corner, which I knew from the old days. Look what I got, boy. Sawed-off 38, spring knife, got a 5-inch blade. Shells to the 38, besides what's in the cylinder now, an ice pick. All I got to do is file it a little at the point. Didn't I do good, boy? All this stuff, and I ain't been out 6 hours yet.
Lug, don't you know you violated your parole just by carrying these things? You don't have to use them, just carrying them is enough.
But you said I'd have my job back, so I picked up my tools.
Out, Lug.
Out? What do you mean, boss?
Scram. Beat it. Slow. In other words, no work here, Lug.
But you said...
You reminded me about that before. I told you no. Not now, and I mean it. You're through. If you're not out of here in 5 seconds flat, you'll go off the payroll as well.
I do the dirty work. I go to school. I'm the guy who gets the juice mill. I'm the guy who says third with a spoon.
Shut up, Lug.
I won't shut up. I won't let you talk to me like I was a school kid.
Get out. Now.
I never crossed nobody in my life. You got no right to cross me.
Any more of this and you won't get out of here alive.
What do you think you're talking to? I'm the guy who knocked off Louis Davis. I'm the guy who took care of Numbers Jackson. I'm the guy who blew a hole in Dave's stone. Nobody talks to me like that. Nobody.
You want me to call the boys, Lug?
You don't call nobody. Not when I got this in my hand.
Lug.
A 5-inch blade, boss.
Lug.
Brand new, sharp as anything.
Stay away from me, Lug. You cut me. You cut me, you boss. You cut me.
You bleed like anybody, boss. And all over the rug, too. That's not too bad. Does it hurt, boss? Does it hurt in the belly like that, huh? With a 5-inch blade?
Does it hurt?
You shouldn't have done it, boss. throw me out. You shouldn't have tried to throw me out. Hiya, Joey. See ya.
And I want the tapes on the inside of the pants up, Steve, so they won't get all frayed so quick.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute, Ollie. Anything else on the suit, sir?
You could check the pockets for holes. Clean them fresh.
Yes, sir. Now, will next Tuesday be all right?
I kind of wanted it for the weekend. Saturday afternoon, maybe?
Well, I couldn't promise, sir. I'll do my best.
How much?
Tape, trouser cuff, check, pads, screen pads. $250, sir. Here's your slip, sir. And stop in Saturday. I'll try to have it ready.
Thanks. I'll be here. See you Saturday.
Okay, Ollie, what do you want?
You don't have to be so tough. I come home like you said I should.
Yeah, I see. Only this store ain't home. What'd you hear from your boss?
Nothing. And I ain't going to hear nothing.
He fire you?
I said I ain't going to hear nothing from him.
Well, go on up the house. Ma's waiting. Well?
You're going to let me work for you, Joey?
You can start delivering on Saturdays, maybe. I'm busy Saturdays. What's wrong with you? You going straight, Ollie?
Ma wants I should, don't you?
First time you ever cared what she... Get your hand out of that jacket pocket, Ollie.
It ain't your jacket.
I'm responsible for it as long as it's in my store.
There's nothing in it anyway.
I know you, Ollie, from way back. There's nothing in it now.
You saying I took something?
I know you did. Open your hand.
Okay. Nothing but a lousy $50.
Give it here.
Find us cheaper.
That's stealing, Ollie.
I found it. It's mine.
You stole it from a customer's pocket. Give it here, I said.
I never stole nothing. Except maybe fruit from in front of the grocers when we was kids.
I want that $50.
Come and get it.
I told you I can still lick you.
Don't touch me, Joey.
I'm sick of you. I'm sick of making Ma think you're doing okay. I'm sick of hearing what a wonderful boy her baby is when I know...
What do you know, Joey? You know I'm dangerous? Huh? And hot in the pistol? You know I just give it to the boss, Joey? Did you?
Ollie.
Shut up, you mealy-mouthed sewing machine jockey. I'm sick of your baloney.
Ollie, put away that gun.
Sure. I'll put it away, Joey. After I'm done using it.
Ollie.
Wouldn't even let me have a lousy $50.
Anything wrong in here, Joe? The folks next door think they heard it.
Oh, no, you don't. I remember you.
Break the other wrist with my nightstick, too.
I didn't do nothing.
Next to cop killers, Lug, we hate mugs who kill in their own families.
Oh, I said, this time you'll fry.
Time does not pay. Herbert Rudley, who was starred as Ollie the Lug Barker in Once Too Often, will be back with you in just a moment. Now, here in person is Herbert Rudley. At first glance, there may seem to be little or no moral to the story of Ollie the Lug. Ollie was a killer and found the end reserved for criminals of his type. But the fact remains that Ollie did kill once too often, more because of the eagerness of the authorities to achieve a conviction than because of any skill of his own in evading the law. Until proper provision is made for the correct scientific study of every person like Ollie who comes within the purview of the law, cases like Ollie will continue to be handled as ordinary cases. People like Ollie will continue to be a menace to society as a whole. Here, in terms of life or death for everyday citizens, we can see once again that for all of us, as well as for the criminals, crime does not pay. Thank you, Mr. Rudley. Time Does Not Pay is written by Ira Merriam and directed by Mark D. Loeb, with music composed and conducted by John Gard. Technical consultant is Burton B. Turkis. The events, characters, and names used in the story you have just heard are fictitious. Any similarity is purely coincidental. And now, Gangbusters. Gangbusters, presented in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States. The only national program that brings you authentic police case histories. Tonight, Gangbusters celebrates its 14th anniversary. Since its beginning in 1936, Gangbusters has presented over 600 actual police case histories and aided in the apprehension of over 350 wanted criminals.
Tonight, Gangbusters has asked the Honorable John C. Hilley, Assistant United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, to narrate tonight's case of the Golden Touch. Mr. Hilley.
Thank you, Roger Foster. And good evening, Gangbusters listeners. Tonight's case began rather inauspiciously late one night, not too many months ago, in a diner on the Lower West Side of New York. This diner was frequented mainly by dock wallopers from nearby piers and drivers and loaders from the nearby truck terminals. A wiry young man in work clothes was sitting at the counter over a cup of coffee when a heavy-set man walked toward the empty stool beside him.
Hello, Ralph. How's the coffee?
Oh, Victor. Hi.
Cup of coffee. Black?
Where
where you been keeping yourself, Ralph?
Been working.
Good. Glad to hear it. Where?
Woods trucking.
Yeah, doing what?
I'm checking loads. I gotta get back, Victor. See you around.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll walk part of the way with you.
What about your coffee?
The coffee here stinks. Hey, Bud, forget the coffee, will you? You're looking great, Ralph.
Yeah. Was feeling great, too.
After you, Ralph?
Thanks. I go this way.
I've been looking for you, Ralph.
That's so?
Yeah. Want you to get me a load.
Well, don't look my way, Victor. I had enough.
Well, I got everything set. I got a big buyer uptown, lots of dough.
Look, I like dough as well as the next guy, but I don't want to take another fall, so that's that.
No, you won't take any fall. Nobody will take a fall. You get me a load of Scotch whiskey, we'll make a nice piece of change. A buyer will pay $25 a case for all we can get.
Look, I don't want to get jammed up again, Victor. It ain't worth it. I like breathing free air.
Well, think it over, kid, and let me know. Can I meet you someplace after work?
No, not tonight. I gotta meet Dee Dee for a drink after.
Oh, date with the wife, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Ralph, I'll be in touch with you. You think it over, huh?
But I don't...
Just think it over. You'll get 2.5 G's for doing nothing. So long, Ralph.
Yeah. So long. Really, baby, I didn't come here to talk foolish. I came to enjoy a drink.
Look, Ralph, it stands to reason. You gotta get that load for Victor. What have you got to lose?
What have I got to lose? I'll tell you what I got to lose. Got another several years off my life to lose.
Has Victor taken a fall yet? Has he?
I ain't worried about Victor. I'm worried about myself. These FBI's ain't dumb, you know. Truckload of liquor out of my terminal gets hijacked, I'll be the first guy they talk to.
So what good in talking get him?
No.
How do you ever expect to get anywhere in this world if you don't take a chance?
Say, listen, baby, whose side are you on anyway? Has Victor been talking to you?
To me? Why should Victor be talking to me?
How did he find out where I was? How did he find out I was working again in the truck terminal?
Well, don't ask me. There are millions of ways of finding out those things if you want to find them out.
Yeah.
Ralph, I'm telling you, you're passing up the opportunity of a lifetime. It's like money in the bank. Victor already has a buyer lined up.
Oh, if I had any sense, I'd go right to the FBI with this thing. Right to the FBI and tell them all about it.
Now, wouldn't that be just lovely?
But I guess I got no sense.
Oh, Ralph, I knew you'd do it. I just knew it.
Special Agent Service talking.
Oh, Mr. Service, I don't know if you remember me. You had me up on hijacking a couple of years ago.
What's your name? I'll remember you.
Well, that can keep for a minute, Mr. Service. But would you FBI's like to break up a hijacking before it starts?
I think we would. What's it all about?
Well, a certain party has come to me and asked me to line up a load of liquor. Now, I don't want to get jammed up again, Mr. Service. I'm clean. I want to stay clean.
Why don't you come here and tell me about it?
Oh, well, look, Mr. Service, how about City Hall Park, huh? City Hall Park in a half an hour.
Okay. But who is this?
Well, it's Ralph Sarek, Mr. Service. Remember?
Yes. Okay, Ralph, City Hall Park in half an hour. Hello, Ralph.
Oh. Well, Mr. Service.
Come on, let's sit down on the bench there.
No, I think we better walk.
Sure.
Maybe this wasn't such a good place to meet after all, in broad daylight like this. Huh?
You don't think anybody's behind you?
I don't know about that. I wouldn't put it past Victor.
Victor Rossi?
Yeah, Victor Rossi. He's the one.
Hold it here.
Hey, taxi! Where are we going?
We can talk riding around. Get in, Ralph.
Okay, yeah.
Head uptown, driver. So it's Victor who wants you to get him a load.
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Service. Ain't that good information for you? I always knew you wanted to make Victor.
This isn't a make, Ralph.
Well, isn't it? I
Tell me
thought...
something. Why didn't you get him a load?
Oh, look, Mr. Service, I don't want to do any more time. I had enough in there.
Why didn't you just tell Victor no and forget about it?
Well, you know how it is, Mr. Service. By not getting him the load, I passed up a 2.5G touch at least. I figured it... Well, you know, if the government's so anxious to get a make on Victor, to collar him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Ralph, I know what you mean. But the government doesn't pay out money to anybody unless they work for it.
Work? Work how, Mr. Service?
You find that load for Victor. We'll let him hijack it.
We will?
We will. That's the only way we'll get a make on him.
Well, but Mr. Service...
It's settled, isn't it?
Yeah, it's settled.
And keep your ears open.
Keep my ears open.
I want all the information you can bring me about the buyer. My boss wants the buyer as bad as he wants Victor. Worse than he wants Victor.
Yeah, the buyer.
Well, Ralph, how do you think you'll like working for the government?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be hard to get used to, Mr. Service. Awful hard.
Yes?
Me, Victor. Val.
Okay, just a second.
Oh, Victor.
Well?
Got your load, Victor.
Yeah? What?
1,150 cases of scotch. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds all right. When's it coming in?
The ship docks tomorrow over in Jersey, Hoboken.
How's it come over? Through the Holland Tunnel?
No, on the Cortlandt Street ferry. When something lands in Hoboken, we always bring it over on the ferry.
Well, it ain't much of a ride from the ferry up to your terminal. Yeah, we'll have to grab the truck on the ferry.
Hey, can you do that?
Well, sure, why not? How many men on the truck?
2, driving a helper.
Yeah, that won't be any trouble. You're sure it's 1,100 and some cases?
Listen, I seen a manifest.
Okay, Ralph. It's a deal.
10%?
10%.
Yeah. Is this one buyer going to take it all at $25 a case?
Every drop.
Can he handle it all?
Yeah, he's a big operator uptown. He's got a string of small clubs. He can handle it all right.
Do I know him?
What are you so interested in a buyer for?
Me? I don't know. I just want to be sure.
Sure of what?
Well, listen, I'm a part of this deal. I'm entitled to have the facts, don't you think?
I'm telling you the facts.
Okay.
So don't worry about it.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Well, stop wondering. Everything's taken care of. Now, how about a drink on it?
No, thanks. I got to run along. I got to meet Dee Dee.
Oh? Well, have a good time.
Don't I always?
Give my regards to Dee Dee.
Yeah, I will. So long, Victor. You'll hear from me when I get the information.
All right, Ralph. I'll be waiting.
Yeah, tomorrow sometime. Just sit tight.
Yeah. Baby.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone. Gone to meet you.
I forgot to tell him. I'm tied up.
Yeah, you're a smart kid, Dee Dee. Roping him in like that when he didn't want to be roped.
I got a system, Victor.
Give me a kiss, baby.
No.
Come on.
Please, Victor.
Listen, what are you getting, coy?
It's all part of my system. You'll get your kiss when I'm ready.
You're a smart kid. You're too smart for Ralph, huh?
You said it, Victor.
You're too smart for me. I want something, I want it. Now, come here.
Victor!
you, baby.
I like you, too.
Too bad you're married to Ralph, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough.
After we make this touch, we'll get around to doing something about it. Okay?
Okay.
Well, Gangbusters listeners, that's how this case progressed. An FBI informant was in on the plans of the liquor hijacking as the conspiracy got underway. But even the best laid traps are in danger of springing too soon or snaring the wrong game.
And once again, here's tonight's narrator, the Honorable John C. Hilly, Assistant United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York.
Well, as I was telling you, FBI agents of the New York field office had an informant planted in a ring of liquor hijackers. And as information came to him, Special Agent Larry Service brought it to his supervisor, John Humphrey.
John, Ralph just phoned. He said Victor took the bait. He'll go after the load on the ferry.
Good.
The buyer's supposed to be a nightclub owner. No information on the drop.
I wonder if Ralph knows his wife has been seeing Victor.
I doubt it.
What do you think he'll do when he finds out?
I'm just as worried about what he'll do if he doesn't find out. Whatever he tells Dee Dee's going to be relayed to Victor as fast as she can get there.
Yeah, I know, Larry.
He said he hasn't told a soul about his connection with us, but there aren't many secrets between a man and his wife.
Well, maybe we won't have anything to worry about. The touch will come off tomorrow.
John.
Yeah?
Ralph keeps warning me Victor might get rough with the drivers.
We'll take care of that, Larry. You and I are going to be the drivers.
Oh, that takes care of it all right, doesn't it?
Yeah. Takes care of it fine.
That drive onto the ferry's awful narrow, John. You sure you can wheel this trailer through there?
I'm going to try, I'll tell you that.
Where'd you learn to push one of these things anyway?
Never even been in one until yesterday.
Oh, great. You're doing okay.
Take a look through that mirror, Larry. See how our friends are doing.
They're still back there. The car and all for them.
You got to hand it to Victor. He knows his business.
Okay, fire that rig on the boat.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah.
Watch it. Watch this side. Easy there.
Okay, go ahead.
Not bad, huh?
Not bad. I thought you were going to take a bulkhead with you.
Oh, no, it wasn't that close.
It was close enough. I'm telling you, I'm going to feel a lot safer in Victor's hands than I felt riding in this thing with you.
Keep your fingers crossed anyway. If he wants to be, he can be plenty tough.
You're telling me.
But if we're as meek as lambs, he won't bother with any rough stuff.
John, you never saw a meeker lamb.
Well, here we go.
Hey, John. Over there. A couple of our men. Mac and James.
Good.
They're the ones who are going to tail the truck, right?
That's right.
Oh, that's a tough assignment. Thank goodness that didn't happen to me.
Come on, let's go out and get a smoke, huh?
Yeah, I could use something.
Go on.
Victor's boys are getting out of their car.
Yeah, looks like the moment.
Did you know that they were crying for help in the Bureau of Census, the Department of Commerce?
Is that so?
Yeah, I just happen to have an application here in my pocket.
Take out your pack, give me a cigarette.
Oh, here comes Victor. Yeah. Have a cigarette?
Thanks. Hello, boys. Nice day on the river, ain't it?
Yeah. Smells better today.
Now, listen to me. A truck of yours. I'm going to take it.
Huh?
Oh, you kidding?
I got 4 boys standing around here. They all got guns, and they're all itching for target practice. You understand me?
That's pretty plain.
So I'm taking the truck.
Oh, now listen.
Look, Bud, I got nothing against you. All I want is that load. But if I have to kill you to get it, you're going to get killed. Now, you wouldn't want to die over a lousy load of Scotch whiskey, would you?
You got a point.
Okay. Walk on back past your rig. There's a sedan there right behind it. Go on, watch.
Yeah.
Keys in the truck?
Yeah, they're in there.
Okay. Keep watching. You're doing fine, boys. You got lots of sense. Okay. Pile in.
Hey, look.
Get in.
Come on, Johnny. Don't get any place arguing.
Yeah, I guess I won't.
That's the attitude, boys. Now, here. There's some goggles for you. Put them on. Don't try to look out through them. It won't do you any good. The glass is painted over. So just sit there and relax. For relaxing, there's nothing like a ferry ride across the Hudson.
There.
Hey, Dee Dee, be careful with that coffee. It's hot.
You're lucky I don't pour it over your head.
What's the matter with you, anyway?
I'd just like to know why you're sitting here at 11 o'clock in the morning drinking your third cup of coffee when right now the load is being delivered to the drop.
Listen, baby. First of all, I worked at the terminal till 1 o'clock this morning, so I'm entitled to drink as much coffee as I want at 11. Second, I've done my part. Victor don't need me anymore. Besides, I don't know where the drop is. Pass the sugar.
Brother, are you small potatoes? Here.
I mean, I'm small potatoes. And don't throw things around like that.
You're the key man in the operation, and you get a stinking 10%.
Ain't 10% enough for you?
You want to know the truth? No.
Okay, do it out then.
What kind of a big dealer do you think you are? I don't need you, Mr. Small Potatoes.
Oh, now,
I can go where the big money is. Why should I wait around for you to get up a little nerve?
Dee Dee.
You're through, Ralph. And you don't know it.
Huh?
It's me and Victor. Victor? You heard that. Victor. It's been going on for months.
You're kidding.
Am I? We were just waiting for this touch to make it final.
Yeah? Well, you'll see how final it is. You'll see where Victor winds up.
You'll wind up 3 notches above you.
Yeah, you can go visit him in Atlanta.
Where?
Oh, come on, Dee Dee. Sit down and let's be like a man and wife should be.
Where did you say I could visit Victor?
Now, Dee Dee...
Are you sung to the FBI on this deal?
Oh, baby.
You have, haven't you? I should have known you would. Victor will kill you.
Dee Dee, where are you going?
Where do you think I'm going? I'm going to find Victor.
Dee Dee!
Next floor, boys. Just hang on to the railing and you'll be okay.
Listen, I can't see anything.
That's just the idea of the goggles. Hang on to the railing. Okay, you up front. That's the last step. Follow that railing around.
Yeah. Railing.
Okay, stop here. Inside.
Inside where?
Come on, this way. Now sit down on the floor. Both of you.
Yeah, but what...
Sit down. Now listen. I'm leaving one of my boys outside the door for 10 minutes. I want you to keep those glasses on and stay still. You get me?
Yeah, we get you.
Now, you've been pretty good boys, both of you. So here's a little something for your trouble. Don't spend it all in one place. Remember, 10 minutes. I'll see you.
You okay, John?
Yeah, Larry. You can take the glasses off. That 10 minutes routine was just a bluff.
Hey, look. He handed us $20 apiece.
Generous guy, isn't he?
Yeah. Where are we, anyway?
I'd say it's a condemned tenement house.
Well, let's get going.
No, we better wait a few minutes anyway, just in case. Then I want to call the office and see if they followed the truck to the drop okay.
Special Agent Dean.
Hello, Dean. John Humphrey.
Hello, John. Everything okay?
Yeah, fine. Where's the drop? Where'd they take the truck?
A small garage on Murray Street, number 653. Mac and James are keeping it under surveillance.
I see.
Something's going wrong, though.
What?
Well, Ralph phoned a few minutes ago. He said Dee Dee accidentally found out he was singing, and she's on her way to Victor.
Oh, no.
That's what he said.
Look, get hold of Mac and James. Tell them if she shows up at the drop to pick her up quietly and bring her in.
Right, okay.
Meantime, Service and I will try to locate her elsewhere. We've got to grab her before she sees Victor. If we don't, we'll never make that buyer.
Yeah, who is it?
Victor home?
No, he isn't. What do you want?
Well, look, I got business with him. I'm buying some stuff off him. Some stuff that just come in today.
Okay. He's down unloading the
Hiya,
stuff. Now,
Dee Dee.
listen.
Special agents of the FBI.
I don't care what you are. You can't come busting in here.
We're in. So you haven't seen Victor yet.
What's it to you?
It's plenty to us. You just come along, you'll find out.
Get your hands off of
Dee Dee,
me.
don't get stubborn. Come on, let's go. We're getting you out of here before Victor comes back, and we have to carry you. You might just as well come along like a good little girl.
Al. In the doorway.
Hello, Mr. Service.
Step in here.
Look, I'm sorry I'm so late. I can't find Dee Dee any place. She must have gone to Victor. They must have skipped together.
Don't worry about Dee Dee. We've got her.
You have?
We found her at Victor's place before she had a chance to talk to Victor.
How do you like that, Mr. Service? Look what she does to me. After I give her the best years of my life.
Yeah, it's rough.
I could murder that Victor. But Dee Dee, I still love her. Ain't that strange? I could go back to her on bended knee.
Well, you've got a little something else to do for us first.
Yeah? What, for instance?
We'll know who the buyer is when he takes delivery. Then we can nail him.
Yeah, that's what a guy gets for buying merchandise with heat on it.
But we'll get Victor when he pays you off.
I was thinking, is there any chance I could keep the money? After all, no, I guess not, huh?
You guessed right, Ralph. That's our evidence against the buyer. But you just wait till the job's finished. Now, where do you think your payoff will be?
I don't know. I got no idea.
Well, try to make it some public place, a bar maybe. Some place where we can watch the transaction and step in as soon as the change is made.
And now, Gangbusters.
Hello, Ralph. How are you?
For crying out loud, Victor. How long do you want me to sit and wait for you?
How are things going, Ralph?
Come on, give me my end of the score. Let's get out of here.
What's the matter? Dee Dee waiting for you someplace?
What do you got Dee Dee so much in your mind for? Come on, pay off.
Look, Ralph. I could find a market for all the loads you line up.
There ain't gonna be any more loads. I pushed my luck far enough.
You and Dee Dee going on a vacation?
I ain't seen Dee Dee in 3 days.
You haven't?
No, she run out of me.
Oh, no, that's too bad, Ralph. But here, this ought to cheer you up.
Thanks.
$2,875. It's all in that envelope.
Yeah, it better be.
Now I got a big piece of news for you, Ralph. I got a wire from Dee Dee. She's in Atlantic City waiting for me. How do you like that?
Yeah. I got a big piece of news for you. You're gonna get this.
Victor. Hey, what's going on here?
Special agents of the FBI.
So, hey, watch you got a gun. Sure, I got a gun.
Give me that.
Go on.
Beautiful, John.
Let me at him. I'll tear him apart. I'll break his back.
Okay, Ralph, now take it easy.
Stealing Dee Dee like that, stealing a man's wife, I'll tear him apart.
He's had enough for now. Let him sleep this off.
Yeah, let him sleep this off.
All right, you people, stand back. Come on, it's all over. There's nothing to see. Come on now, there's nothing to see.
Hey, Mr. Service, you know something? I kind of like this working for the government. Hey, there must be something to this civil service business.
Sure, Ralph. There's a lot to it. You don't make much money, but there's always plenty of laughs.
That, Gangbusters listeners, was how this hijacking syndicate was broken up. The leader, his accomplices, and the buyer of the stolen merchandise were all tried in federal court and received the maximum penalties. It was the hard work of agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigation in skillfully using an informant that wrapped this case together.
Well, thank you, Assistant United States Attorney John C. Hilly, for this most amazing case history. And Gangbusters, congratulations to all the FBI agents who participated in this difficult investigation.
And now we take you back to Gangbusters. Tonight marks the 14th anniversary of Gangbusters in its crusade against crime. At this milestone, it is indeed a great pleasure to bring you a message from the Honorable James A. Pride, Chief of the Washington State Patrol.
Hearty congratulations to Gangbusters on its 14th anniversary of splendid service. The long history of the program and the enthusiastic response of listeners everywhere are proof of success. May this anniversary be more than a recapitulation of past accomplishment. May it mark a milestone of success, which may continue for many years to come.
The next message comes from the Honorable Carl G. Bachman, Mayor of the city of Wheeling, West Virginia.
Congratulations to Gangbusters on its 14th anniversary. Gangbusters has done an outstanding job of helping the American people to understand more fully the work police officers and enforcement agencies are doing for their protection.
And finally, the Honorable Homer Garrison, Jr., Director of the Texas Department of Public Safety, has this to say.
Hearty congratulations to Gangbusters for its 14 fruitful years of enlightenment and entertainment to the public, and its aid to the cause of law enforcement and justice. No better justification for its continued existence can be offered than that it may persevere in advancing in the public's conscience the individual responsibility of each citizen in the perpetual war of law and order versus crime.
Thank you, Director Garrison, Mayor Bachman, and Chief Pride, for these fine tributes to Gangbusters on its 14th anniversary. Your words will serve as a great challenge throughout the years to come. Tonight's case was dramatized by Stanley Niss and directed by George Zachary, with Carl Eastman and Chuck Webster in leading roles. Roger Foster speaking. Gangbusters is a Phillips H. Lord production. Proudly we hail. From New York City, where the American stage begins, here is another program with a cast of outstanding plays. Public service time has been made available by this station for your Army and your Air Force to bring you this story, as proudly we hail the United States Air Force. Is entitled Mediterranean Rescue, the story of Captain Kendrick Reeves, United States Air Force, the story of an amphibian pilot with the 58th Air Rescue Squadron, 7th Air Rescue Group, stationed at Wheelus Field in Tripoli, Libya. The names of the other characters have been fictionalized in this story of a rescue mission and one for Captain Reeves, a recommendation for the Distinguished Flying Cross. America looks up to her men in the sky. Yes, our country looks up to the young men thundering their way to new glory in the skies. Theirs is a task held in high esteem by the entire nation. You are needed to swell their ranks, and can do so by enrolling now in the Aviation Cadet Training Program of the United States Air Force. If you are between the ages of 19 and 26 and a half, have had 2 or more years of college and are otherwise qualified, visit your nearest United States Army and United States Air Force recruiting station and ask about the Aviation Cadet Training Program. Do it today. And now your Army and your Air Force present the proudly we hail production, Mediterranean Rescue. Commercial airliner, an American-made DC-3. The British nicknamed it Dakota. It took off from Malta less than an hour ago. Now, somewhere over the Mediterranean, it's heading toward Benghazi on the Libyan Bulge. A scheduled flight, a routine flight. Let's meet some of the passengers. First, Mr. and Mrs. Bentley. Margaret?
Yes, Joe.
Tired?
Oh, no, dear. That's relaxing and thinking. What a wonderful holiday this has been.
Yes, I'll regret when it's over, dear.
So will I. I hope we don't find Tewkesbury rather dull after this.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you standing there.
My watch has stopped. I would like the correct time if you have it.
I think so. 1:05.
Thank you. So that is correct?
What is?
The time.
Well, I have no reason to question it, sir. I set my watch at the airport in Malta by the clock of the waiting room.
Thank you. Does not matter.
Well, that's a pompous boor. Who is he?
Don't know, dear. I think his name's Mayday.
The plane's rolling. Slipping to one side.
He must have slipped into an air pocket. You're all right now. Quite all right.
And they were quite all right, but only for the moment. In the meantime, at Wheelus Field in Tripoli, Captain Kendrick Reeves and his co-pilot, Captain Douglas Clayton, were whiling away the last few minutes of their duty tour on alert.
13:35. Keep moving, hands.
Oh, stop watching that clock, will you, Doug? You're making me sleepy.
Well, who's going to watch it if I do it? 25 minutes to go, and then freedom. Sleep, perchance to dream. Hey, and that reminds me, I never told you about that dream I met the other night.
What, another one?
This was it. The most gorgeous, the most... Ken, I've never seen anything like her.
What happened?
What happened? What happens every time I meet the woman of my dreams? She has a husband or a boyfriend. I'm the only guy in the world who seems to miss the boat every time. Uh-oh.
Unhorse yourself, Doug. I'll get it.
Thanks, Pa.
Reeves talking. Yeah. Okay, Tom, right away.
Round up the boys and, make sure it's the SA-16 Albatross, because we may have to make a water landing. Finley wants to see me.
There goes my sleeve.
And mine. Get moving, Doug. There's trouble on the water.
That's all, Tom? That's all I came through, Ken. Dakota lost its left engine, tried to make it to Benghazi on the other one, but couldn't. One fan just wouldn't hold it. They're losing altitude and preparing to ditch.
Uh-huh. How long ago?
15 minutes. They were dumping all the luggage, but they still couldn't maintain altitude.
It's 1340 now. Didn't you have anything more from them?
Not a peep, Ken. Nobody else did either. I checked with the RAF base at Castel Benito and with the other one.
Okay, Tom, what was the position?
34 degrees, 10 minutes north, 1710 east.
How many people aboard?
32, including the crew.
32? Dakota?
Yeah. I know what you're thinking.
With every break in the world, they'd be lucky to stay afloat 5 minutes. Okay, I better get going. There might be one outside chance they get out of that plane.
At 1400 on the nose, 2 o'clock, Reeves, Clayton, and a crew of 4 took off in their Grumman Albatross and headed toward the position reported by the distressed Dakota. Then, an hour and 35 minutes later, at 15:35...
34 degrees, 10 minutes north, 1710 east. This is about it, Ken. We're in the area the Dakota sent the distress call from.
See anything, Doug?
No, not on this side.
Oh, there's nothing on this side either. Check with radar. See if they can see anything on this screen.
Look at those swells kicking up. Must be at least 10 feet high. What a time to get rough. Even if those people managed to get out, what chance would they have against that?
Yeah, even if they managed to get out. If they had the time.
What do you mean, Ken?
Well, the Dakota might stay afloat at the most about 15 minutes. Those waves down there. Doug, get in touch with other search and rescue craft. Get information. We'll make a route search along the Dakota track.
A route search along the Dakota track, the track from Malta to Benghazi. But no one knew whether the Dakota tried to return to Malta or flew toward Benghazi. Captain Reeves had to use his judgment. He followed the track toward Benghazi.
No, nothing yet, Ken. Nobody has any information. Nobody's seen any sign of a single survivor. Yeah. It's 1600, Ken. If there were any survivors, we'd have seen them by now. Somebody would have seen them.
Maybe.
Boy, look at that water now. It's getting rougher by the minute. And wouldn't you know it, it's beginning to rain.
We're not quitting, Doug.
Well, who wants to quit?
That's my boy. There's one possibility. Is anyone covering the track from position back to Malta?
Yeah, a couple of Lancasters.
Okay, we stick on the track to Benghazi. 2 more minutes. Then we'll swing left. That's probably the direction the Dakota took on account of the dead engine before they hit. Before they could let anyone know.
There's months. 3 hours we have in this life raft. Nobody cares. Nobody's even looking for us. That is your capitalistic competence. Your bourgeois humanitarianism. Life means nothing.
We don't care for your lectures, Mr. Lady.
You will get my lectures, Mrs. Bentley. You will not fly to Benghazi to get lost in the middle of the Mediterranean. Die like a wet pig. And I do not appreciate your British courage. Or your British calm.
Oh, shut up, will you? You at least are in the rot. My husband isn't.
That is my fault, huh? Because there is no room for him?
You made sure of getting your place, didn't you?
Of course. Why not? My life is worth more than all of you put together.
You, your precious life. Joel?
I'm all right, Margaret.
Are you sure?
Yes. How about you?
Don't worry about me.
I've been hanging onto your arms so long.
Don't worry about me, Joel.
Margaret, perhaps I could hold on to the side of the raft.
No.
Let me try. Only for a moment.
Joel? Don't you dare let go of my arms again. You almost went down.
I guess I'm more tired than that.
Joel! Miss Lady, help me lift him onto the raft.
Lift him?
Please, he's ill. He's very ill.
No, Mrs. Bentley, you will not bring him into the raft.
If you won't help me, I'll do it myself.
I forbid you. There's a crowd of 10 people when there should be only 7. The raft is losing air. We will sink. We will drown.
Hold up, Joe. Please help me.
Look out. You're capsizing the raft.
I can't do it myself. Please, won't someone help me?
No one, Mrs. Bentley. They're all sick. They can do nothing for you.
SA-16 AF-9072. Searching for Dakota survivors. Have you seen any? Over.
Got somebody, Doug?
Yeah, I can't hold it. Okay, Baker and Ann, keep in contact. Transmit period tones for VHF homing purposes. We'll be listening to give you a steer. Over.
Well?
That was a commercial airline.
What's the word?
Nothing. Everybody's helping out, but what good will it do?
I don't know, Doug.
1740. Pouring buckets. I'm just afraid we're 4 hours too late.
Maybe we're not.
What do you mean?
Look down there. Maybe we're not too late at all.
Holy smoke. 1, 2, 3 rafts.
Loaded. Send out a position, Doug. Let them all know.
Right. All search and rescue craft. All search and rescue craft. SA-16 AF-9072 calling. Have located survivors. Have located Dakota survivors. And here's position. Surface craft proceed at once to this position. 33 degrees, 28 minutes north, 1921 east. Repeating position of Dakota survivors. 33 degrees, 28 minutes north, 1921 east. We'll need assistance. Here's hoping we see you soon.
Yeah, and here's hoping we don't get ourselves banged up going into that green. I better talk to the crew. Pilot's crew. We've located survivors. It's going to be tough getting down to them and staying with them, but we've got to do it. Fasten your safety belts and prepare for water landing. Doug.
Yeah?
Give me a reading on the wind.
Coming from the east, 29.
Okay, I'm going to make a full flat, full stall landing into the wind, downwind from the raft.
Good luck, Pappy. Holy smoke, that raft knocked over by a wave. Cat's
You are listening to the proudly we hail production Mediterranean Rescue. Our story will continue in just a moment after this important message. America is depending on her leaders in the air. If you are a young man between the ages of 19 and 26 and a half, have had 2 or more years of college, and are otherwise qualified, you are eligible to join the ranks of America's leaders in the air. You can become an aviation cadet. The defense of our nation hangs heavily on our air strength, the finest in the world. But we cannot relax our efforts. The Air Force still needs pilots and aircraft observers. If you have the primary qualifications, visit your nearest United States Army and United States Air Force recruiting station today. Ask about the Aviation Cadet Training Program. Do it now. You are listening to Proudly We Hail, and now we present the second act of Mediterranean Rescue. Just imagine yourselves in the cockpit of Captain Reed's plane. Just imagine yourselves seeing what Captain Reed saw as he brought his plane down on the heavy seas of the Mediterranean. The people in the life raft, some shrieking with joy, not seeming to mind the rain anymore. Some praying and some prostrate and numb with sickness, unmindful of anything. And the people in the water trying to swim for their lives, clutching at the waves as if they were solid agents of salvation. Captain Reed made his full stall landing into the wind several hundred feet from the survivors. But as his plane made contact with the water, it skipped off the water, bounced like a rubber ball. Then, when it made contact again...
Doug, place propellers in reverse to 5 powers.
The plane squatted and remained on the water. It was undamaged in the landing.
Wow. Rock-a-bye, baby. What now, Ken?
We'll taxi it within about 50 feet.
Okay.
Should get closer, but I'm afraid to take a chance. Might be swimmers we can't see.
I hope they're all there, Ken.
Yeah. Okay, Doug, reduce power. All right, take over, Doug. I'm going to get the boys started.
Right.
Keep jockeying the throttles between forward and reverse thrust so we can hold on to this position.
Right, Pappy, for you anything.
Hey, wait a minute, Ken.
What's the matter?
Some guy swimming toward the plane. It looks like he's got a rope. Yeah, it is a rope, and it's tied to the raft.
Good, at least they won't drift. Okay, we're ready. Jim, Joe, open the port main hatch. Hey! Sophie, ready all the blankets. Hey! See, I don't know, Captain. 32 people we rain and that raft getting spilled. Okay, those junket blankets will need dry clothes. Just have to use our own. Okay, Captain, so long as you don't take my pants. Well, maybe we won't have to. Gee, 32 people. Where are we going to put them? Well, let's not worry about that now. Jim, Joe. Hey, look, Captain. The guy down there below head. Form a line. Don't hit him on the head with it. I ain't that good, Captain. I used to pitch for the Giants. All right, take it easy, fella. Just wrap yourself in this blanket.
Thank you, sir. Jameson, co-pilot. Reeves.
Come on, fellas. Put your muscles behind that tow line. Bring in those rafts. Sit on there. Jim, Gibbsy. Inflate a raft and pick up everybody you find in the water. Now, Jameson, when you ditched your plane, was anyone hurt?
None of the passengers that I could check with, Reeves. Of course, most of them are sick and getting sicker.
How about the crew?
The pilot, Captain Harvey, broke his arm. He was thrown against the panel.
Where is he?
He's in the second draft.
The one that capsized?
No.
Okay, when you loaded the rafts, was everybody accounted for?
Yes, I made the check myself. Since we lost that raft, I don't know, Reeves. There were 10 people in it.
Okay. Try to get some rest. All right, get that raft afloat on the double. Doug.
Yeah?
We need surface craft to get these people back to port. We'll never do it ourselves. Gotta get the plane off the water with the load we're going to have.
I know, Pappy.
Won't you get through to anybody?
I've been talking to every ship that's in the area, and there's one on the way here now.
Which one?
The SS Asteria.
Great. How soon she'll be here?
Not before 2100, Ken.
That's almost 3 hours.
I know, Ken, but she's getting here as fast as she can.
Oh, we got to do better. Those people out there have been kicked around for 6 hours already. Some of them may be dying. The skipper of the plane has a broken arm. We've got to get help. And we've got to have it before 2100.
Captain Reeves, with the help of his 2 men, hoisted the people out of the raft and into the plane. 20 exhausted, sick, and hysterical men and women. 20 items of dead weight who were too numb from the ordeal to help themselves. The operation took almost an hour. Then...
Okay, that does it for now.
Yeah.
Rest of the people in the water, let's hope that we can find them.
Yeah, let's hope, Captain.
It's getting dark. Tough break, Joe. Getting hit so late.
Yeah.
Joe, take care of those people. Fix them up with blankets.
Jake.
Too bad we haven't some hot coffee, too, sir.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Soupy, Captain. How do we do?
Feeling sick, Captain. Rocking to the plane.
Oh, for Pete's sake, Soupy, I need you. Can you hold on for a while?
I don't know, Captain. I'd like to.
Okay, do the best you can. Keep a watch on the hatch. If the raft comes below, sing out.
Yeah.
Jameson, what's the situation? Any real sick ones?
I don't know, Reeves. They seem to be suffering mostly from shock and exposure. 2 are unconscious, Mrs. Bentley and Miss Cartwright. Looks more like exhaustion than anything else.
How are you?
Standing up.
Okay, let's take a look at your pilot.
Captain Reeves.
Yeah?
I'm Anton Ladek, diplomatic courier on a very important mission.
Yeah?
I must get to my legation in Benghazi at once. How soon can we leave here?
How soon?
Yes, how soon? I'm expected in Benghazi. Already I'm 6 hours behind schedule.
Mr. Ladek, there are 12 people out there in the water. What do you want me to do, leave them?
It is most embarrassing to me, this delay.
Sorry.
How are you, Ken?
Beat.
Any news? A couple of British destroyers are on the way. Might get here in about an hour.
Doug, an hour's no good.
I know that, Ken, but what can I do? There's nothing closer.
How about the Asturias? Where's she now?
Still proceeding under full speed. But no dice before 2100.
Oh, that's still an hour. Doug, the people we pulled out of the water, they're sick. They need medical attention. A couple of delirious. The pilot, Captain Harvey, his arm is broken.
Ken, have we got the whole Dakota crowd on board?
I don't know. Jameson's counting noses now.
Okay, let's say we've got them. We can't take off with that load, but maybe we can taxi.
Yeah, maybe. Those swells might stop us cold. Okay, Doug, we'll take the chance. If Jameson says we've got everybody. Excuse me, Mr. Laydick. You're in my way.
I must know, Captain Reeves. Why are you wasting valuable time?
Now, look, Mr. Laydick.
Already it is dark. Already I'm more than 7 hours late reporting to my legation in Benghazi. I'm a diplomatic courier. What are you waiting for?
We can't take off, Mr. Laydick. We've got 32 additional people on board besides the crew of 6. That makes 38 people.
I can add, Captain Reeves.
Okay, then figure it out for yourself. I got 6 people to work.
Wait a minute. You will concern yourself with me too, Captain Reeves. And you will stop giving me excuses. I have diplomatic privilege, and I demand that you take me to Benghazi.
Now, just a minute, Laydick. Don't you pull diplomatic privilege on me. I'm in command here, and I'll do what I think is right. We're not behind the Iron Curtain, in case you don't know. Out of my way, I've got work to do.
You will not insult me in this way. I shall report this incident to my government. I shall complain about your conduct. I shall...
What's the matter?
I'm sick. Very sick. Inside.
Yeah, I know the symptoms. The port main hatch is still open. Stick your head through and let yourself go.
Yes.
Jameson.
Mrs. Bentley Reeves. She came to a few minutes ago. Her husband.
What's the matter with him?
I finished my counting. He's missing.
Oh, Joe, Soupy.
Yeah. What's cooking, Chief?
The man out there. How do you feel, Soupy?
Okay, now, it must have been something I ate.
I'll bet. Get into a raft, you guys, and start fishing for that man on the double. We're doing all we can. If your husband's anywhere out there, we'll find him.
You'll never find him. I wanted to bring him into the raft. I tried. That man refused. He wouldn't help. He wouldn't raise his finger.
Miss Bentley.
I was holding on to Joe with all my strength. And then I don't know what happened. Something happened to me. I don't remember.
They tell me you lost consciousness.
Yes. Yes, that must have been it. But that man, Joe, would be here. He'd be alive. It was only a holiday. We waited so long. So long.
Miss Bentley, I don't know what I can say, except we won't leave here until we're sure. Absolutely sure. Help should be arriving soon. The ship, maybe 2, that'll get the other support, but we'll stay.
Thank you, Captain Reed. Thank you so much. But I feel it's quite hopeless.
Maybe not. Let's wait and see. Please excuse me now.
Of course. Thank you.
Jameson, you think there's a chance your men will find him?
Who knows? With those conditions out there, it'll be a miracle. How's your pilot?
I don't really know, but I'm terribly afraid for him. His arm is badly swollen and discolored.
That's too bad. Try to make him as comfortable as possible. I'm going to check the radio.
Reed.
Yeah?
My compliments. You've been superb.
Thanks. What goes, Doug?
I've kept my chin up so long I've got a stiff neck.
Any word from the rest of the world?
It looks like it's going to be the Asturias. She's really bearing down.
Between you and me, I'd be glad to see a rowboat right now.
Yeah, me too. How's the comrade coming along?
Laydick? He's groaning his guts out in a corner.
That's where he belongs.
What about Joe and Super? You seen them lately?
I've got all the lights on, wings, nose, and tail. I'm getting worried about those guys, Ken.
Yeah, so am I. They've been on half an hour. Doug, if that guy was afloat, they'd have found him by now.
Yeah.
Only hope they didn't get kicked over by a wave.
Well, there are a couple of good swimmers, Ken. They could have made it back to the plane.
Maybe, but it's building out there. Maybe I was crazy to send him out, but... I don't know, Doug. We just couldn't forget the guy, leave him. We couldn't turn our back on him.
You're a tired pappy, Ken. Listen to your grandfather, will you? Don't blame yourself. You did what you had to, and you did it fine.
Yeah, but Joe and Soupy...
Yeah, Joe and Soupy. It'll take more than the Mediterranean to keep those corn cobblers down. Look out there.
Where?
Right there in the beam of that light.
The raft.
Yeah, and there are 3 guys in it.
They picked up Bentley.
What else, Captain? What else?
Joe Bentley was brought aboard the SA-16. His ordeal was over. The ordeal of clinging to an overturned life raft for over 3 hours. And 15 minutes later, the Asturias arrived on the scene. the ordeal was over for all of them. The crew and passengers were transferred from the plane. The sick and injured were promptly taken care of. Rescue mission accomplished. To Captain Kendrick Reeves, USAF, for courage beyond the endurance of man, for the exercise of sound judgment under the most difficult conditions, for the tenacity with which you stuck to your assignment until it was successfully completed, proudly we hail, salute you. You, Captain Reeves, your co-pilot, and the men of your crew. But before we say goodbye to Captain Reeves, let's go to Wheel of Steel again, where he and Doug Clayton are wearily on their way home after filing their report.
Oh, boy. Sleep. Boy, am I going to sleep. Oh, a chance to dream. Boy, what dreams I'm going to have.
Hey, listen, Pappy. If I want to dream, I'll dream. I'm off duty now.
No, I wasn't laughing at that, Doug.
No?
I was thinking of Anton Ladek.
Nightmares.
His diplomatic mission is in Benghazi. Maybe he doesn't know it yet, but the Asturias is bound for Malta.
Yeah. He's going back where he came from.
Yeah.
Young men of America, your country is building a mighty Air Force to maintain the security of our nation. This means that there is a job for you, the chance to do an important job with one of the finest organizations of its kind in the world today, the United States Air Force. If you are between the ages of 19 and 26 and a half, have had 2 or more years of college, and are otherwise qualified, the Air Force needs you as part of the Aviation Cadet Training Program. For complete details, visit your nearest United States Army and United States Air Force recruiting station today. This has been another program on Proudly We Hail, presented transcribed in cooperation with this station. Proudly We Hail is produced by the Recruiting Publicity Center for the United States Army and United States Air Force Recruiting Service. This is Kenneth Banghart speaking and inviting you to tune in the same station next week for another interesting story on Proudly We Hail.
Kreml Hair Tonic and Kreml Shampoo present the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes, starring Nigel Bruce as Dr. Watson and Tom Conway as Sherlock Holmes. Now, once again, it's time to renew our weekly visits with that genial host and incomparable storyteller, Dr. Watson. And here he is, waiting for us in his comfortable and familiar study. Hello, Dr. Watson. It's mighty good to see you again.
Good evening, Mr. Bell. Good gracious me, it's a long time since you last dropped in to see me.
Too long entirely, but I'm certainly glad to be back.
I'm glad to have you back, my boy. This seems like old times.
Thank you, sir. By the way, I heard you had quite a trip this summer. Went back to England, didn't you?
Yes, Mr. Bell. I must say I had a very delightful time renewing old friendships. Incidentally, I think you'll be particularly interested in one visit that I made. It was to the vaults of Cox's Bank in Charing Cross.
Cox's Bank? Oh, that was the home of your old black tin dispatch box, wasn't it? The one that contained all the notes on your adventures with the great Sherlock Holmes?
It was, my boy. You have a very good memory.
And by any chance, is that the box standing there on your table now?
It certainly is. I brought it back with me. You see, I found it contained a veritable treasure trove of material. Notes on adventures that I'd forgotten, and in some cases stories that Sherlock Holmes insisted must not be published during the lifetime of certain famous people involved.
Phew, that certainly is a treasure trove. Do you mind if I take a peek in the sacred box, Dr. Watson?
Not at all, Mr. Bell, not at all.
Must be papers all tied up in tape. An old signet ring.
Oh, that just a token of the Duke of Bedford's esteem. It never did fit.
Hey, what's this, Dr. Watson? A small dog collar.
Yes, my boy, a small dog collar. And it brings to mind one of the most exciting, bizarre adventures that Sherlock Holmes and I ever encountered. I always referred to it as the adventure of the Stuttering Ghost.
Stuttering Ghost? That sounds provocative, Dr. Watson.
I hope you'll find it so, Mr. Bell.
In just a moment, Dr. Watson will tell us the story of the Stuttering Ghost. But first, I'd like to ask a question. Men, wouldn't you like to feel that your hair always looks its best? That it always appears neat and attractive? Then let me suggest Kreml Hair Tonic. This famous modern hairdressing has been especially developed to keep wild, unruly hair handsomely groomed all day. Not a lock out of place. And Kreml gives the hair such a nice, rich luster, too. Yet it never leaves the hair feeling or looking greasy or sticky. Why not buy a bottle and prove to yourself that Kreml is tops for better groomed hair? Kreml, Kreml Hair Tonic. Now, Dr. Watson, the floor is yours.
Well, Mr. Bell, the story began on a certain September afternoon in, more years ago than I like to admit. Holmes and I were seated in our Baker Street lodgings, having returned a few hours previously from a much-needed holiday in Devonshire. Though our trip had proved far from restful as far as I was concerned, I could see that the change had worked wonders for my old friend. There was a distinct touch of colour in his usually pale face, and I knew by the sparkle in his eye that he was happy to be back in harness, as he sat there skimming through the letters that had accumulated during his absence.
Watson, has it ever occurred to you that the entire course of history might have been changed, probably for the better, if paper and ink had never been invented?
Oh, rubbish. It's good to be back in Baker Street again, eh, Holmes?
Yes. Back to the routine of stupid letters from stupid people after 2 peaceful weeks at the seaside.
Peaceful? And you spent most of your time solving the problem of the lifeguard, the calabash, and the dying nursemaid.
Merely a routine matter, Watson, though it did have its points of interest.
Anything startling in this morning's post?
The usual trivialities. The Duke of Greenock suspects the Duchess of planning to elope with the under footman.
Oh, knowing the Duke, I can't say that I blame her.
Quite. Doesn't anyone use imagination in committing crimes anymore? Aha. This looks more promising.
Huh? What is it, Holmes?
I shall present my problem to you at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It's almost 3 now, and the letter's dated yesterday.
Doesn't sound particularly promising to me. Who's it from?
It's simply signed Ferdinand.
It's very odd. Holmes, it might be royalty. Only reigning monarchs sign themselves to strangers simply by their first names.
If you're referring to Ferdinand of Spain, he's dead, you know.
Well, you're pulling my leg. Still, I can't recall a Ferdinand on any current European throne.
Nor can I. And yet there is a certain tone of royal peremptoriness in the phrasing.
Where's the front door bell? It's exactly 3 o'clock. That could be him now.
Yes. While Mrs. Hudson answers the door, suppose we have another look at this note. Expensive paper. Written with a quill pen. And the presumably august scribe was unfortunate enough to get a smear of ink on the outer side of her right little finger.
Why do you say her right little finger?
It's a woman's writing.
Oh, sorry.
Come in. Yes, Mrs. Hudson?
You have a visitor, Mr. Holmes, and she's got a wee dog with her.
She said you might be expecting her.
Very well, Mrs. Hudson. Show her up, please.
Yes, sir.
A woman and a wee dog. And here we are waiting for royalty.
Watson, I've sometimes observed a distinctly snobbish strain in you. Most regrettable in these democratic days.
Democratic? I voted Conservative all my life, and I always will vote Conservative.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, you dear man. Oh, I've heard so much about you. Oh, I suppose you're wondering who I am.
Naturally, madam. Sit down, won't you? May I introduce my friend, Dr. Watson?
How do you do, madam?
How do you do? I'm Mrs. Frampton. Mrs. James Frampton. That's the Buckinghamshire Framptons, you know. And I've travelled all the way up here with darling little Fuzzley. And he does hate trains, don't you, sweetheart?
By the way, Mrs. Frampton, would you mind telling me why you signed your note, Ferdinand?
Why, Mr. Holmes, whatever makes you think I wrote you a note?
Among other things, the slight trace of an ink stain on your right little finger.
Oh, dear. It's so simple when you explain it, isn't it?
Quite.
Well, since you're so clever, I did write that note. But only because Ferdinand here asked me to.
What?
Yes, the darling dictated it all by himself. He said... And I wrote it all down for him.
What a ball is that? Dog writing notes.
Don't you think, Mrs. Frampton, that if your dog has any problems, a veterinary surgeon would be the logical person to consult?
Oh, dear, now you've upset him. He's so terribly sensitive. Dr. Watson, I wonder if you'd mind taking him out for a little walk.
Who, me?
Yes. I'd much rather he was out of the way when I tell Mr. Holmes about him. He's so human, you know. I'm quite sure he understands every word I say. Oh, please, Dr. Watson.
Oh, really, madam, I don't
Come,
think
Watson. Can't you see the little fellow's dying for some air? I think a little walk would do you both good.
It's all well. Very well. Come along, you little black little fellow. Come on.
And now, Mrs. Frampton, may I ask what has brought you to see me?
Well, Mr. Holmes, 2 weeks ago, one of Ferdy's gold collars was stolen. And a week after that, he was sent back to me with a very strange note.
You have the note with you?
Yes. Yes, it's here in my purse. Put your hands up, Mr. Holmes.
Well.
That's right.
Do you mind pointing that revolver another way, Mrs. Frampton?
I have no intention of pointing it another way. Furthermore, you'd be astonished at my skill in using it.
Not at all.
Oh?
When a woman has the audacity to call on me with the outline of a revolver plainly visible through the side of her purse, I naturally assume she is able to use it.
You knew I was armed, and yet you
I
didn't...
regret to say that sometimes my curiosity overcomes my caution, and I was very curious as to the purpose of the ridiculous ruse of the letter-writing dog. I still am.
You'll very soon see. Go and sit in that upright chair by the desk there. Mr. Holmes, I assure you I won't hesitate to use this revolver. Go over to that chair.
Very well.
Sit down in it, with your back to me. That's it. I was admiring these handcuffs on your mantelpiece. They'll do very well to fasten you to the chair. Put your hands behind you. Thank you.
What's the game, Mrs. Frampton? Daylight robbery?
Yes. Or murder, if you don't help me.
You realize that my friend is liable to come back at any moment?
Oh, no, Mr. Holmes. That beastly dog was a deliberate device to separate you and your friend. A colleague of mine will see that Dr. Watson is taken care of as soon as he gets outside. And now, Mr. Holmes, I do hope you're not going to be too difficult.
Come along, you stupid creature. You don't have to sniff every... Come on. Playing nursemaid to Pekingese. Hope I don't run into anyone I know. Come on, you little brute. Come on.
Excuse me, Governor.
Yes.
You got a match?
A match? Yes, I think I have.
Sorry, and half a nice little dog, Governor. What's his name?
His name?
Never mind. You come here now.
Why, you scoundrel, put down that piece of lead pipe.
Get out from under my feet, you nasty dog, you.
You would you?
Oh! Blimey, Governor, you nearly broke my arm.
Madam, if you'll just tell me what you're looking for, I'll be delighted to tell you where to find it. There's no sense in messing all my files up.
I want your records of the Rothier case.
In the third drawer of this cabinet.
Oh. Well, here we are. N-O-P-Q Randall. Rothier. Well, thank you, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Ah, there's the rescue party.
But it can't be Dr. Watson. Alfie was to take care of him.
Dr. Watson has resources that might surprise you. Sometimes they surprise even me.
Well, I've got what I came for.
Holmes, I had the most amazing experience.
Yes, you were set upon by a ruffian in the street.
Fellow asked for a match and then... How did you know?
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Huh?
Now, please get the key off the mantelpiece and unlock these handcuffs.
Good heavens. Who trussed you up like that?
Mrs. Frampton, at revolver point.
You see? If you hadn't made me go out with that silly little dog,
She would never have revealed her purpose in coming here. Watson, the whole thing was a plot to gain access to my files on the Rothier case.
I say, the Rothier case, why that...
Hurry up with that key, will you, old chap?
Yes, of course. There you are. I say, how did that woman get out?
Obviously down the back stairs, as you didn't pass on the front. I assume her accomplice got away, too?
Yes, he wouldn't have if I hadn't tripped up over the dog leash. I left the silly little beast downstairs with Mrs. Hudson.
Suppose we see if our caller took anything of any consequence.
But, Holmes, why should anyone go to such fantastic lengths to steal the file on a criminal case that happened years ago?
That's what we have to find out. You recall the Rothier affair, Watson?
Yes, I could do something to do with a jewel robbery, was it?
Yes. Rothier and his English accomplice, a gentleman known as Stuttering Steve Hacker, stole the famous Shrewsbury emerald.
Yes, of course.
The jewels were never recovered, but I was instrumental in bringing the men to justice.
I remember it now. Rothier was killed resisting arrest, wasn't he?
Yes, and Stuttering Steve Hacker was sentenced to 7 years in Dartmoor. By George, Watson, I recall reading a small item in yesterday's paper that told of Hacker's death in prison. That's the answer.
You mean that on his deathbed, Hacker might have told someone the secret of where the jewelry is hidden?
Precisely. The key to that secret must lie in these files. Let me see. Yes, I recall the case vividly now. There was a small piece of paper found on Rothier's body. An apparently meaningless series of numbers and figures. It was here in the file. Now... she's got away with it, Watson. I deserve to be kicked from here tonight.
Holmes, now listen to me. I was going through the file a few weeks ago, making some notes for my stories, and I remember coming across that slip of paper. I copied the figures down in my notebook.
Bravo, Watson. I don't know what I'd ever do without you.
Thanks, sir. Just a minute. Here they are. Here we are. Here are the figures. T2N302S50. What the deuce does it mean, Holmes?
I don't know, but I think I may have a glimmering. Get your coat and hat, old chap. The game's afoot.
Where are we going?
To Scotland Yard. And then I hope we'll be on the track of the Shrewsbury emeralds.
I say, Holmes, if you don't want to talk, you might at least tell me why we're driving about in this dreary part of London. I don't care for it at all, especially at dusk.
Sorry, Watson. I was thinking. Inspector Lestrade has just informed me that he's unearthed a new clue in the case.
Oh?
It seems that when Rothier was hiding from the police, he worked for a time in this neighborhood.
Oh, where?
At a place known as Gaunt's Castle. It's somewhere here off the Mile End Road. Apparently it's a sort of museum, run by a certain eccentric man named Jezra Gaunt. Its main claim to distinction is that it contains a catacomb. Or, to be precise, several catacombs.
Extraordinary thing.
An ideal place to hide stolen jewels, I'd say.
Catacombs? Here in London? Impossible.
Not at all, Watson.
But I thought they were vast underground tombs only found in Italy.
Now, these are reputed to be reproductions of the early catacombs of Rome.
Good gracious me.
Apparently, Mr. Gaunt found these deep underground caverns some years ago. And their natural contours made it possible for him to convert them into a modern counterpart of the Italian ones. All right, cabby. This is the place.
Righto, Governor.
There you are. Keep the change.
Thank you, Governor. Come on, get up.
So this is Gaunt's Castle. A frightening-looking place. Like a prison. It's getting dark. Why can't we come back in the morning, Holmes?
I think there's somebody watching us through the peephole in the door.
Yes, there would be.
He's opening it.
Good evening, gentlemen. You're late. I was just locking my museum up for the night.
You're Mr. Jezra Gaunt?
Yes, sir, at your service.
My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend, Dr. Watson.
How do you do, Mr. Gaunt?
Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson? Well, this is a great honor. Please step inside, gentlemen. I'll turn the gas up. There. I hope you'll find the castle, as I call it, interesting.
Mr. Gaunt, time is vitally important. Some 3 years ago, you had a man working for you as a laborer. His name was Rothier.
I can't recall any man of that name, Mr. Holmes.
He was a Frenchman, Mr. Gaunt. Does that mean anything to you?
Oh, I'm sorry, but in this part of London there are many foreigners, and many of them have worked for me. But,
This man, Rothier, was a jewel thief. He is known to have hidden some very valuable emeralds, and it seems quite possible he may have hidden them here.
Dear me. Stolen jewels in my catacombs, Mr. Holmes? Oh, no,
I want you to give us your permission to deduct a detailed examination of your caves and to take some measurements.
Yes, of course. What an extraordinary coincidence.
Coincidence?
Yes. A man and a woman were here a little while ago. I didn't pay much attention to them as they entered, but I happened to observe them later in the catacombs. They were taking measurements. By Jove, Holmes.
Go on, Mr. Gaunt.
When they saw I was watching them, they were very evasive and left after a few moments. Until you mentioned taking measurements, the whole incident seemed unimportant.
It was far from unimportant, Mr. Gaunt. They're desperate. We must work fast. May we start our search at once?
Well, of course. I'll go and light the gas. Extraordinary business.
Holmes, Mrs. Frampton, that accomplice who attacked me, must have come here straight from Baker Street.
Yes, and they'll be back. Probably tonight. It's a race against time.
Well, so far they apparently haven't succeeded in deciphering the code.
And neither have we. Watson, it's a battle of wits.
Oh, really?
They won the first round. Let's hope we can win the second.
Dr. Watson will continue his story in just a moment. In the meantime, I'd like to say, and just see if you don't agree with me, any man who wants that modern, prosperous appearance should certainly use a hairdressing. And men, I'm right here to tell you I wouldn't use anything else but Kreml hair tonic. Do you know why? Because Kreml is one hair tonic I've been able to find that really keeps my hair well groomed. Every hair neatly in place. Yet it never has that greasy, plastered down look. Kreml always feels and smells so clean on your hair. In addition, Kreml does lots more than just keep hair looking handsome. It relieves itching of dry scalp. It removes dandruff flakes. Kreml actually helps condition the hair, in that it leaves it feeling so much softer, easier to manage. Why not ask for an application of Kreml at your barber shop? Buy a bottle at any drug counter. Just see how attractive looking it keeps your hair. That's right. It's spelled Kreml. Kreml Hair Tonic. Well, Dr. Watson, how did you and the great Sherlock Holmes make out when you explored the underground caves?
For that first hour, we searched that strange place exhaustively without finding a clue. Then I remember we descended into one of the deepest and darkest caves. Must have been a weird picture as we stood there, our voices echoing hollowly. A vast black chasm yawning in front of us, and a feeble flicker of gaslight throwing a pool of light on the piece of paper which Holmes held in his hand.
Watson, I'm certain the figures on this paper are the clue to the missing emeralds. But why can't I get the code? T2N3O2S50.
They might be pacing directions.
Obviously, but beginning where?
I don't know, but 2N could be 2 places north. Still, how about T and O?
The T being the first letter is presumably the starting point. But what does it stand for? But, of course. Here's the answer. Look here on the wall.
You mean that colored tablet?
Yes. It's a common early Christian symbol known as St. Anthony's cross. And it's also the Greek letter T. This is our starting point. T is the first letter in this code.
And then comes 2N.
Let's try it. 2 paces north. So.
Then comes the letter O. It could mean 0.
Yes, it could, old chap, or it might be... No, I have it. Remember that Routhier was a Frenchman.
What's that got to do with it?
The French word for west is ouest, spelled O-U-E-S-T. French compasses have an O where ours have the W. 2 paces north, 3-O, 3 paces west. See if Gaunt will lend us a spade, Watson, dear chap, will you? We're getting warm. We're getting decidedly warm.
Holmes, I think we've drawn a blank.
So do I. Yet the code is a logical one. 2 paces north, 3 west, 2 south, 5 wait. Wait a minute. Paces are inaccurate, Watson. They vary. A man would surely leave his records in carefully measured feet.
Here's a tape measure. Why don't you try measuring it out in feet?
Thanks. Now, 2 feet north, 3 west, 2 south, and 5 west. Would be here. Give me the spade, Watson. I'll do the digging this time.
Oh, thanks very much. Holmes, if you dig any deeper, you'll come out in Australia.
And yet I know we're basically on the right track. What an unmitigated idiot I am. Watson, look on the other side of this tape measure.
What's on it?
It's marked in meters. Roté was French. Now we have the answer, Watson. 2 meters north, 3 west, 2 south, and 5 west. Give me the spade again.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong this time, I'll retire from my profession.
What's that?
It's a metal box. Watson, unless I'm very much mistaken, we've found the Shrewsbury Emerald.
Great Scott!
Box is a little tarnished, a little rusty, but its contents are undamaged. Look at these emeralds, Watson. Aren't they exquisite?
In this gaslight, they look just like liquid jade.
Quite a poet, aren't you, Dr. Watson?
Oh, hello, Mr. Gaunt. You quite startled me. We've found the treasure.
I'm so glad, gentlemen. You've done the hard work for us.
Look out, Watson, at the trap.
Come back here, Holmes.
Drop that revolver gun.
I missed your friend, Dr. Watson, but I won't miss you. Stand where you are. In any case, Mr. Holmes can't get away. Fortunately for us, he's run into a cave from which there is no exit. Gertrude, Alfie.
Here we are.
Find you, Gertrude?
Yes, my dear. Clever of them, wasn't it? I doubt whether we could have solved the code without their help.
Scoundrels, I wish I'd get my hands on you.
Dr. Watson, surely you're in no position to threaten. The 3 of us are armed, and your friend can't help you. Mr. Sherlock Holmes, come out of that cave with your hands up. We've won the final round.
Not while I have the emeralds, you haven't.
All around him out of there, blast him.
It seems to me, Dr. Watson, that Mr. Holmes is being unusually stupid today.
Be careful, Holmes. Holmes! Holmes!
Dear me, I'm afraid your friend's been injured,
For
Doctor.
heaven's sake, let me go to him. I'm a doctor.
I'm afraid I can't trust you. However, I'll tell Alfie to drag his body out here. Alfie!
Never mind about Alfie. I just counting one up before I shot Mr. Holmes.
That voice. It's Stuttering Steve Hacker.
But it can't be. Steve Hacker's dead.
That's what you think. But he ain't dead. I bribed the prison doctor in his kite. Remember, I'm in the dark. You can't see me, but I can see you. You're standing in the light. So you better do like I say. Dr. Watson.
Yes, Hacker, what is it?
I remember you. You ain't a bad sort of a text assistant. I trust you more than these rats. If you don't want me to shoot, you'd better drop your revolvers at Dr. Watson's feet. I'll trust him. Go on, drop them.
You better do as he says. I think he means business.
All right, Hacker. Here.
Now yours, Gertrude.
There.
Pick him up, Dr. Watson.
I've got him.
Splendid, Holmes. Then hand me one.
But Holmes, where's Steve Hacker?
Aside from the fact that he's dead, I've no idea, old chap. I took the liberty of impersonating him, or rather his ghost, temporarily.
You shot Alfie?
Certainly. He was about to shoot me. But he is not quite dead, unfortunately. And now, Watson, old chap, I think it's about time we turn this unsavory little gathering over to the police. Watson, it's rather pleasant to be back in Baker Street. It's been a tiring day.
You know, Holmes, the way you imitated Stuttering Steve Hacker was amazing.
Oh, thanks awfully, old chap.
Oh, not at all. You had them completely fooled. Of course, I thought of the whole thing immediately.
Oh, of course.
You're very clever, though. You shot Alfie and then faked your own wounded groans.
Yes.
Whatever.
It was remarkably effective. And Alfie's subsequent confession confirmed my suspicions. Hacker, ill and afraid of dying, talked with Alfie during his recent stay in Dartmoor and told him to find the booty and share it with Hacker's wife. But Alfie, as soon as he was released from prison and thinking Hacker dead, decided to get it all for himself and his accomplices. As pretty a tangle of criminality as I ever ran into.
Perhaps your return to practice won't be as dull as you think.
Come in.
Excuse me, Mr. Holmes, but about the dog.
Dog? What dog?
The nice wee fella the lady brought this afternoon. He's still downstairs. I gave him a bath and a nice big beef bone. Now, what do you want me to do with him?
An intriguing problem. Let me see now. He's been cooped up a long time.
Oh, here it comes.
I think it would be an excellent idea if Dr. Watson took him for a nice walk.
Nice walk, but Holmes, I'm very tired.
Oh, come, Watson. Remember, he's quite a remarkable animal. He wrote a letter. He convinced you that he was royalty and then undoubtedly saved your life. I think you owe him a little consideration, don't you?
Well, of course, if you put it that way, I suppose we've got to...
that's how you acquired this little dog collar, eh, Dr.
That's right, Mr. Bell. I had that wretched little animal on my hands till it died of old age. And I got quite fond of it, as a matter of fact.
I see. And what story are you going to tell us next week, Dr. Watson?
Well, now, next week, I think I'll tell you a story I call The Adventure of Black Angus. I always think it was one of the most gruesome and macabre experiences that Sherlock Holmes and I ever encountered.
Well, look who's here, if it isn't Janie. Do you look gorgeous tonight? And your hair, it's lovely.
It should be, Joe, because I always wash it with Kreml shampoo. I learned that beauty trick long ago from those Stunning Powers models.
Yes, Kreml shampoo is famous. It leaves hair sparkling for days with natural glossy highlights. What's more, Kreml shampoo is a hard water shampoo. It whips up just gobs of lather in every type of water. Its fine, rich foam penetrates right to the scalp and removes all loose dandruff as well as the dirt. It even has a beneficial oil base, which helps keep hair from becoming dry. We're all using Kreml shampoo at our house. I'd suggest you take a tip from my wife and buy the large family size. Tonight's new Sherlock Holmes adventure was suggested by an incident in the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story, The Adventure of the Noble Bachelor. Nigel Bruce appeared by permission of California Pictures, and Tom Conway through the courtesy of Eagle Lion Pictures. This is Joseph Bell speaking for Kreml Hair Tonic and Kreml Shampoo, and inviting you to be with us next week at this same time when Dr. Watson will tell us the adventure of Black Angus. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.